Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tabletop Notch presents Bloody Be the Turnips. A quick thank you to everyone who joined me for a secret stream, for a super hot secret stream.
So cool.
There was a stream?
It was secret.
Oh no!
And it was also
Damn.
super hot.
I don't think Anthony's a real fan.
Insanely hot today.
We didn't.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We had a great time. We sort of went over the case, and since then, if I can bring it up, can you bring up the battle cam?
Oh, yeah.
The board has been added to over and over again.
Wow,
So we were the group's going hard on the old detective style string and post-its investigation. This is also the link is in the Discord, and I don't know if Moobot does it or something. It's definitely in the Discord.
Moobot's not doing it at the
Not doing it
moment,
at the
but it's in the Discord.
Yeah, it's in the Discord. It's a great way if you are trying to remember some information from the previous episode. We'll try to kind of keep adding to it as we go. You can see both things that are like sort of facts and information, as well as some thoughts from various detectives on the case. So if you're ever some of them less objective than others. But yeah, it's a great resource for keeping track of some of it, because these missions are, they can get a little sprawling, not sure what's relevant, not sure what is. What isn't. So yeah, ton of awesome information.
Who isn't
here.
a fool?
Who's a fool? Who isn't a fool?
Who definitely didn't murder their
Agent
wife.
Fooly. Agent Major. Fuck.
Good job, Karakinos.
So thank you for joining me. It was a blast, and we might have some more of those in the future. But if you just need to do a quick check on a character's name or something that happened, feel free to check out the board as well.
That's right.
We're going to be diving into chapter 3 here as the mystery of finding Deshi Parim continues. The group is going to split up. We're going to follow them to a couple different locations. But before we dive into the thick of the mystery, let's do a little round the table.
7 p.m. Eastern is the unsecret stream. It's the opposite of secret. The public, yes. The forward-facing stream.
Vulnerable.
Yes, very open and vulnerable.
It's the vulnerable stream.
Vulnerable stream. 7 p.m. Twitch.tv/tabletopnotch. You're here, and we thank you for all this. Wow, I have to scroll past a lot of gifted subs right now. Get ready to yap your jaw right off of your entire face.
Oh,
just
no.
Like our case.
But then how?
Will I talk to them?
There are other ways to watch and listen, just like paying attention to your Twitch notifications in case there's a secret stream. Make sure you have the bell.
You have to succumb.
I was told that it ruined some people's streams. I didn't even think of that when
I got the notification. I didn't see it right away, but I got it. I got the notification.
Oh, I got the notification.
About the secret stream?
No.
Oh, no.
I see what you're saying. No, I didn't get it. In any case, you could always count on a public and vulnerable podcast that will happen every Tuesday of the previous stream. Every Friday, everyone in the world will be able to watch the YouTube VOD at youtube.com/tabletopnotch. But if you support us in a myriad of ways, you do get early access to that VOD on Tuesdays, same as the podcast day. That's it for me.
Table, top, notch. Table, top, notch. Not tabletop niche, not tabletop nooch. Table, top, notch. Google it and then follow us everywhere.
Do not go to Tabletop Nooch. Whatever you do, do not go to Tabletop
That's not us.
Dangerous.
We're not tabletop nooch. We're tabletop notch.
Tabletop.
I hate you.
Tabletop notch. Google us and then give us a follow so you can, get alerted to these secret streams and all of the cool stuff that we're doing. Just give us a follow everywhere and a like and smash that subscribe button and
Like it.
hit that do that.
Smash that
Somebody
bell.
even said recently on YouTube that YouTube unsubscribed them from our channel.
Wow.
Which I'm like,
That's sneaky.
did they? But also, fuck YouTube.
So go check on YouTube and make sure that you are subscribed because apparently YouTube is doing some shit.
It's true.
YouTube does it
We're
out
not
for us.
pushing enough, I don't know, feastables.
Or gambling.
Yeah.
You can't gamble on us. I
do
don't
mukbang.
think.
Yeah.
Give us a follow. Come on this journey with us.
It's 10:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. I'm staring at my Twitch page after the end of a Tabletop Notch stream. A half-empty bag of Trader Joe's Scandinavian swimmers open next to me. I lean back in my chair, look to the heavens, and say, God, what an incredible episode. I have so many thoughts and theories, and I wish I had somebody to share this with. Suddenly, the roof to my tiny studio apartment is ripped off. And above me, I see the skies open. And a beautiful red-headed man reaches down from above and whispers.
Am I red-headed?
You're not redheaded.
Discord.gg/tabletopnotch.
That's the one.
That's the
That's
redhead.
the one.
That's the
Oh,
There it is.
Redheaded man.
I'm the little redheaded man.
I am today.
Yeah. Discord,
Oh my God.
a very lovely place, and wait, sorry, what was that?
Oh my god.
The wind. It's the winds of Discord. That from maybe your rooftop getting blown up. It's whispering to me, you must find us at discord.gg/tabletopnotch, and if you're watching this stream, you're really missing out if you're not there. Wow. I can't believe that message is delivered to me by the Discord gods, and now you have to join.
Wow, this lore is.
Chris is
listening to the redhead Talon who heard some winds.
Talon is obviously the prophet of Discord. Keep up.
After destroying Chris's
It's
home.
It's just profits all the way down.
A really fantastic place. It's a place you can talk about the episodes afterwards, especially in this mystery forward campaign. It's a really good spot to just throw out your ideas, see what other people are thinking as we all try to figure out this mystery that Matt has laid out for us. And I just can't focus. What are you drinking out of? That is a cool cup.
Oh my gosh, this cup! Tabletop Notch merch. You can find it on the website. Check it out. We got all kinds of stuff. Cups, bags, shirts, hats. If you want to see underwear, you gotta buy some stuff first.
Shit, I gotta make the underwear. I keep forgetting.
Oh, I thought you were just offering to show people your underwear.
When it's made, we all have to wear a pair.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
We all gotta
Super
show
hot
it
secret
off.
stream.
Has to happen.
That's for another
Super
super hot secret stream. So yeah, you gotta subscribe for that one. We also have our Patreon. We've dropped a ton of stuff there. Not only can you watch.
Oh,
What?
sorry, go ahead.
I was getting to that.
Okay.
Not only can you watch the super hot secret stream ad-free because YouTube just like can't deal with us anymore. But it's also on YouTube. But we have the super hot secret stream there. If you want to watch it, it's free for free members and above. And then we just released the PDF for the month of June. That's what it was most recently. And it's a never before seen element because it was supposed to be on Daggerheart and we just never got there. It just never happened. But it was the like jousting cards that we had brought up. We had like kind of devised a sort of like hand game. If anybody ever played like
The old-
007 when they
old-
were young,
It's like a game where
it's
you
kind of like
a
that,
tap-in.
very much like that. Perfect to play on the dive line when you've got no
Yeah.
inorganic
It requires
materials.
no material.
So that was our recent PDF drop. It's got cards to like, there's like it's kind of like peripheral trading card element to it, but it's mostly just the hand game and how to play it.
For nerds.
For nerds.
There's a booster pack, and can I open some boosters and get some cool cards?
There's some good jokes about that at least.
Oh,
so.
okay, great. That's enough.
And then next week is Notch and Soda already. It's our first
Wow.
Notch and Soda for this campaign, which is crazy. So after next week's episode, Chapter 4, we're gonna be sitting around the table asking questions. I'm sure we'll bring up that detective board to fill out some stuff.
We'll have some yarn to throw around on the old detective board.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So check us out on Patreon. Also,
Maybe.
YouTube members get those videos as well. Spotify subscribers also get those in video format. I think that's it for the Patreon. That was.
Did you
Yeah.
want to bring it up?
Oh yeah, I'm
have it on-
sorry.
yeah.
Usually that's a.
Yeah,
There
we got
go.
the tilt
Oh,
yard.
I guess it should be. I guess we should be on this one. Huh?
Yeah, I guess when that opens
Okay.
up. It shows you the sort of different things that you make, the symbols that you make.
Don't ruin
A
this.
two-hander? It's a two-hander.
Oh yeah, well, I've seen you play that.
Oh,
game
when
on
you
the dive
grapefruit,
line.
when you grapefruit, right?
So
Yes.
some
Yeah.
fun passing the time activities.
Grapefruit
your
your
good thing
joust.
to. If you need a little mini game activity to throw in.
We're putting that away now.
A few gestures have been banned across the continent.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's really cool. Nice job, Jordan, on putting that all together.
Yeah!
Woo! Everybody. Oh wait, I wasn't in mod view. Oh no, don't stream from this device. What did I
Oh
do?
my
Did you
God,
just
it'd be
cut us off?
hilarious.
That's a super
Oh my
secret
God, I
stream.
could have
What does
easily
that
have
even
just-
do?
It would just like, you would just get a nice front face.
Super hot secret stream.
Oh my god. Okay, here we go. I'm looking at the folks that subscribed. Thank you all so very much. Okay, let's see. Aran Sire resubscribed. Chamblin gave out a community sub. Son of a Quest, 100 bits. Camblin did a bit. Golden Dagger, 510 bits. Rip stream streak. I'm so sorry. 59 stream streaks. I'm so sorry. Golden Dagger. Tereximus gave out 5 community subs, and then Alan gave out 10 community subs. Thank you guys so much. Texos resubscribed. Camblin did 100 bits. Adustus, thank you, resubscribed. 12 bits from Camblin. Thank you guys very, very much. We deeply appreciate it.
Very much. And there was a bunch of people that subbed during the Secret Stream too.
Yeah, you did a pretty
We tried
good
to
job.
thank some of those. I wasn't always watching the chat as thoroughly, but we really appreciate it. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Okay, I think we've gabbed and gobbed, and it's time to head back to Humbour. So let's go ahead and do a little recap last time on, and then we'll dive into Chapter 3, Bloody Be the Turnips. Here we go. Previously on Bloody Be the Turnips.
IMP assignments 7 days with the possibility for extension upon request.
Maybe throughout the course of your investigation, if somebody screws something up, better to point a finger quickly away from you.
Somebody who has their whole life ahead of them.
Dive line 662A4 en route to Akota. This is your final boarding call.
The evidence that we would be getting for it is the letter that the transit company got that told them that she didn't need a ride.
I think we have to start with the transit company.
Whoever did this has to have had inside knowledge because they did not time the carriage pickup for the end of the fundraiser. They timed it for the end of the inner circle up after the fundraiser. Yes.
Do like the idea of trying to match this handwriting to somebody else at the council.
It is written on city council stationery.
Who has access to that kind of parchment in this office?
She walks over. It's not locked away.
Would you mind giving us a brief overview on some of those campaign promises?
The big one's the aqueduct.
It seems like the narrow scope is coming from who knew Deshi's schedule when leaving the fundraiser.
Located just east of Humbour's main market square, the transit service looks to be as old as the town itself. Faded paint on the building's siding, fences around the stables that could probably use a bit of repair, and a chipped stone staircase out front. Right away you get the sense that the owner is one of those no need to repair it until it fully breaks kind of guys. Content because it saves him a bit of money. But his employees probably have to deal with some outdated and deteriorating equipment on occasion. Still, in a relatively small town, a business being reliable and firmly established will get a lot of people to look past most of the aesthetic shortcomings. And to his credit, the horses look well groomed and well fed. The carriages themselves are in solid condition. You can see in the back a couple of stable hands currently rigging some horses up to a simple 2-seater wagon. But the door to the shabby main office is open, and inside you can see who you assume is Buckley himself. He's an elven man, country strong, kind of broad, with wild gray hair that's thinning out as the corners of his forehead. A rumpled blue tunic is tucked into his pants, which are held up with suspenders, and he looks to be sorting through a pile of letters or records or requests. You can see just inside the door where the drop box is located. There's a little bin that catches anything put through the mail slot when somebody isn't there to receive it. You can see that little bin there as you come up. So the three of you, once again, we had Agents Barrett, Agent Rysynthian, and Agent Leyo heading to Buckley's Trusted Transport. And we've got you guys, you can see him sort of from the street there.
All right, well, game face is on. Anything we need to talk about before we approach Bryce himself?
What is our first question?
After introductions, perhaps, may we see this original letter that was delivered from Deshi herself? Maybe a good starting spot.
You mean the original request?
The original request, yes.
All
And maybe, since Karakinos and I looked over a couple letters, I can maybe scan to see if it looks like Deshi's handwriting right off the bat. We'll see.
All right.
I'd also like to figure out information like drivers. How many are there?
Yes, sure. Also, Tyler, I think his name was, found dead one of the victims who died nearby his stable or inside his stable.
Whether they work together.
They work together. If there's any kind of link there, I don't know. But I think a solid jumping spot there.
All right. I assume we introduce ourselves. Right side up.
Still getting used to it.
Maybe get yourself a little sticker or indentation.
Maybe a good
thumbnail or something.
Yes. Got it. Thank you, Agent Barrett.
As you guys step up to the staircase, he's looking down, but he can hear people coming up the stairs, and with a sort of practiced tone that maybe he says to anybody who's coming kind of in, you hear him say, "Keep it moving at Barclays. What can I get you? We got good rates, local and long distance."
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
We're new in town in Humber here with OEI, actually. Following up on the Deshi case. Just know we're official.
This again. Look, I already turned over the letter to the last detective, and we've implemented a new system for confirming cancellations on short notice, so I don't know what else to tell you. It's terrible what happened to Mrs. Pareem, but there was nobody here to get a look at who dropped off the note.
Right.
So is it a carriage you're looking for?
Actually, maybe that can come after some questions that we have just to clarify some things. Is it possible to look at the carriages that you have that aren't currently out?
Sure, there's a couple in the yard if you keep your distance.
We can't get too close.
I just mean the boys are out there rigging a couple of them up. Don't get in their way.
Of course. Actually, we have seen the secondary letter. We were curious about the initial request, the one that was canceled.
I've got it in my logs, but there's no letter. She came here her own self.
I see.
At what time, if you recall in the logs, or if you need to check, was she initially requesting that pickup?
Something like, I can find it for you.
Thank you so much.
It takes them a second time. 2,300 hours.
I see. All right, quite late in the evening.
I suppose that's part of the reason for the carriage. Late ride, prefer to have someone take you home instead of having to walk your own self.
And just to understand the timeline, this was the night before the fundraiser at Alejandro's.
So run that by me again. What was what?
When she came to request this carriage at 2,300 hours. That was the night before the fundraiser that Alejandro?
She put that request in 2 days prior to
2 days prior.
That's correct.
All right.
Now, do you have a log of how many carriages? Obviously, you had one at one point put aside for her trip. Do you have a log of what the other carriages were up to that night?
I've got a fleet of 8 carriages, and they go all over. A lot of them were headed to Akota. People come to and from there quite a bit. Do you want to look at all of them? Are you looking for something in particular?
Well, as you know, our previous OEI officers...
Yes, a previous OEI officer came in here and took a look at everything.
Yes, and we're trying to find the lines in between, so it may be a bit tedious, but asking for your help here to see what anything might have been missed is greatly helpful. If it's not too much to ask, then perhaps seeing as much documentation as you have would be helpful.
I can give you some. Is there something you're looking for in particular?
Maybe perhaps not the carriages that were on their way to Akota, but just the ones working locally that night.
I can tell you where, but for the privacy of my customers, I cannot tell you who was in them.
Understandable.
All right, give me a second.
He turns around. And he takes a second, so you guys can even kind of quietly huddle up, because he's sort of flipping through a few.
I still want to know how many. Do they have 8 drivers or?
Just 8 carriages that they swap out between 4 drivers. Is that what you're saying?
Well, how many? How many drive? I just can't imagine that she would have gotten into a carriage with a driver she completely did not recognize. If there's only a handful of them, she's used to picking her up.
And maybe asking about the rapport that they've built up with people in town. Who exactly are these drivers? If they'd be okay to be questioned about some things.
All right. We had a couple of carriages that were taking someone to their residence to the northwest area of town.
And that was a couple that were doing that, headed northwest at the same time.
That was correct. 2 people taking the carriage. And then another carriage. There was some kind of celebration happening at, well, I probably shouldn't tell you that, not because there's anything about it, it just says the person's name.
100%.
There was a celebration of a birthing event.
Congratulations to them.
Well, it's not me. And we had one person go back from that event. It seemed to be an elderly gentleman who had trouble getting around on his own, so he had a carriage.
So, just so I understand, so sorry. There was one carriage leaving this celebration event, and then another one from the same celebration that was the elderly man, or just that's the same?
No, the elderly man was coming from the celebration event.
Great.
And the couple that was headed back home, that was the last minute request. They might have known that they'd be drinking heavily that night and made arrangements.
Very reasonable.
It was from a tavern that we picked them up.
Very reasonable. Seem like good people that live in this town.
Yeah. And then someone was getting picked up from the cemetery and dropped off at their home.
All right, and so just doing the quick math here, that's 5 carriages and the other 3 were out of town.
That's correct.
All right.
So there wouldn't have been any other carriages just sitting idle.
That day, they were all in use at one time or another.
All right.
It didn't all happen at exactly the same time, but at various points we used all 8 carriages.
Surely. Is it within your purview to let us know the drivers' names and where we may be able to question them, find them?
I can give you the names if you give me a reason.
Sure. Maybe we can start with particular drivers that maybe Deshi would ask for.
She didn't ask for one specifically, but there was one who was supposed to pick her up that night before the appointment was canceled.
All right.
And that was Skylar Whitaker.
Skylar Whitaker.
That's correct.
And where could I perhaps find this Mr. Whitaker?
He takes out a map. He shows you where the address is if you want him to. He's in that cluster of kind of northwest residences, which is a very residential part of town.
May I ask, without any particular names, how many drivers do you employ at any given time?
It's not a profession that requires a lot of skill. People come and go. A lot of people can drive a carriage because people know their way around a horse. We've got a couple that have been with us for a while. Some that have been with us for a shorter time, a couple of months, then they move on to something else. I mean, in the past couple months, we've probably had at least a dozen people working for us at various capacities.
Now, may I ask? Oh, Agent Barrett?
Follow up. How many? They all, I assume, have the credentials, the keys, the ability to get carriages in and out, whatever time of the day or night they need them.
They don't get the keys unless they have an assigned appointment, but yes, keys to the stables in the back are handed over when they need to access them. They don't just get to take those keys and take them home unless I know for certain that they're bringing someone's own.
You are the single purveyor of those keys.
That is correct.
And that letter that we've already seen that was part of the evidence that was slipped in that bin.
Yep, it was the only bin that came in. I would say that's fairly unusual that someone puts in a request that they can't just do during working hours.
All right.
I wouldn't have thought nothing of it, except what I mean to say is I would have thought more of it if it hadn't been on council stationery. Last minute cancellation, maybe we would have followed up, but it seemed to be coming from the office of the council.
Sure.
Of course.
Now, I know this happened nearly a month ago, but perhaps reaching into your memory, was there anyone that left your employ shortly before this incident or immediately following?
Not so close to the incident, no.
All right.
Certainly more than a week in either direction.
All right. Thank you. Maybe, we take a quick look at those stagecoach.
Go on, have a look. Don't disturb the boys, they're on working time.
I know you're busy. You're working right now. If we think of anything else, we're welcome to come back and see you. Or is there a better time?
You can, and if you got sufficient reason, I'm happy to give you what you need. But like I said, I ain't in the business of just handing out names for nothing.
Right. Well, maybe after we look at these wagons, we'll leave you to your work. One last thing then, for me. Any of the buildings nearby here, are they residencies of people who might have been out during those hours when a letter was dropped off, or someone I should inquire about?
There's lots of residences around here. You're almost at the center of town. It's a mix. There's businesses. You can see, sort of points out the door, right across the street, you got Jeb's place, a tavern.
Yes.
To the left, there's a little park there. That's like a memorial. And then off to the right, that's Mr. Hull's place. Old Man Hull.
Mr. Hall, to the right.
Hull.
H-U-L.
H-U-L.
Hull, you see it. Hull.
Hull. All right.
There's plenty more, but those are the ones you can see
Right from
across
there.
the door.
And just being a longtime fixture of this community, is there anyone that you know personally that you see crossing by in the morning for a morning jog, or someone getting their business ready in the morning? One or two names that pop out to you, anything?
No.
All right.
I come pretty early in the morning. I'm usually here before most people are out and about.
Right. Well, I think that about covers it for me for now.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me know if you need anything service-wise.
Of course. You're a fantastic man, Buckley.
Thank you. Goes back to him.
All right.
You guys step outside and give me perception checks as you just sort of look at some of the things he was pointing out there.
That looks like a murderer carriage.
11. 17.
5.
Just at a casual glance, you stop at the stoop there because you kind of stand where if the door was closed, your back would be almost right up against the door. So like that's where the drop box would be. Like if you look behind you, the door is open at the moment, but if it was closed, like right at hip height, the little slot for the drop box is. You stand there and you look out and you can see the couple of things that he mentions, sort of left to right, 3 things. On the left, there's a little park there. You can't sort of see all the details, but there's some statues in the park. It's pretty small, but like some benches and statues there within this little park. The one kind of right across the street is some kind of tavern or pub. There's some outdoor seating. It's very simple. There's no sign on the door, so it's basic.
But he's at Jeb's. Right?
Jeb's,
Yeah.
yep, he called it Jeb's place. And then to the right of that, there's a very, very simple 2-story kind of humble home that you can't see anyone within it at the moment, but that's what he called Mr. Old Man Hall's place.
Good question. I think it is worth talking to or taking a look at each one of these 3 places here before we leave.
I just feel it's such a long shot, but if that's maybe something the last OEI officers did not look into, might as well look for some threads.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. It's great working with you guys. Make a good team, bouncing off each other like that.
We are early in this case. Give us a few hours to actually get something done.
Georgie's walking
here.
in the carriages.
You headed back. There's 2 young men back there, an elf kind of in his late 20s and a human in maybe his mid 20s, and they're both sort of really basic sort of pants and tunic attire. One of them's brushing one of the horses, one of them's rigging up one of the sort of reins to the sort of driver's carriage there, or the wagon tongue that's sticking out the front. So they're just working on rigging up a couple of the carriages there. You can see, it looks like, at least just from a quick glance around, there's like 4 carriages immediately visible. You don't know if the other 4 are kind of out and about or whatever, but there's 4 within this sort of fenced-in area here in the back.
Right, and they're not like painted or anything like.
They look like they were painted at one time, but they're pretty faded. All of them are, and they're not in bad condition, but they weren't glammed up. They looked like they, had a decent coat of brown paint way back when they were first made.
Yeah.
They have maybe they had some sort of silver embellishments, but since that they're very faded and chipped at this point.
I guess what I'm looking for, how many? Sorry, are
There's
here?
4
There's 4 here right now. Like any standout differences, whether it's a piece of damage or a style of the wheel or something that like makes any one stand out from the other.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Let's go.
Worse. 9.
Yeah, nothing that jumps out at you. In fact, definitely, even given how obviously well used they've been, they're in good condition. There aren't any like safety hazard broken things. Like Buckley keeps his stuff in. That's one way to ruin your reputation in transport is if the carriages don't, work the way they're supposed to. Also, as you're kind of poking around and just looking around at some of the carriages, one of the boys does.
Mr. Buckley said you could be back here.
He certainly did.
Okay.
Thank you for checking. Actually, without disturbing your work, if I could ask you a question while we take a look at these wagons.
Sort of looks to.
If it's quick, we're working here.
Are you familiar with the departed soul of Tyler
May.
May?
Yeah, we know all the people that,
Right.
perished.
Did he work with you guys kind of closely? Did he supply any horses with you?
We didn't really buy our horses from Mr. May. I think one time we had a horse go lame at a bad time, and Mr. Buckley bought a horse from May just as a holdover, but normally we get our horses from a little place outside of Akota.
So not very often you do business, but maybe being in the owning of horses and kindred spirits, do they go out together very often?
I've never seen them out socially together.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you said they weren't wearing like matching uniforms or anything, right?
No, just basic attire. Yeah, they don't have like a uniform, just like simple clothes.
I'd like to talk to Old Man Ho.
Oh, you finished here?
If he's home.
Is there anything else
No,
we get a
the
good
only
look?
other standout thing was Tyler, and it sounds like he's not as affiliated as we would have hoped.
Would there be any purpose? Why not get a bit closer and check the undercarriage of the carriage? I don't know, what if there's something written there, something that was used on the night of, if it was multiple people, a secret message. I don't know.
These couple
All right.
of 8 carriages.
I'm just saying, it's not a very obvious thing and it's far-fetched, but if that's something no one did in the past,
Take a closer look.
he'll step forward and be like, I'm just gonna take a quick look.
He gets down and like crawls underneath, and the boys are sort of.
That's pretty bad. 11.
11. Man. I mean, you get on there, you sort of look, see, and again, it's paintings kind of chipped, and the axles have been maybe repaired a couple times, but certainly no like markings or messages that you can find.
All right. So, I think we're good. Don't see anything.
These don't stand out to me at all.
Yeah, there's nothing about them that there's no like emblem, there's no matching colors, like they're just pretty standard sort of sturdy carriages.
Someone could easily have brought a nondescript carriage in from elsewhere to have pretended to be one of these.
Maybe we can revisit here later when we've collected more info. Maybe there's something to be known about who originally built these carriages. Were they built in Humber? Who would have the ability to build something, even though, like Foley said, that would have drawn attention, but I don't know, maybe that would be helpful to find who originally crafted these wonderful wagons.
I'd like to speak to Old Man Ho.
All right, we run cold.
She's excited.
Start to head across the street, but we're gonna hop over for a moment, a little
Hop sideways.
We're thinking Old Man Jenkins.
Old man.
A few blocks away from the office of the council, you take a right onto a street with a rounded dead end. It's a little cul-de-sac lined with several plots and buildings that all look like they serve some public capacity. There's a schoolhouse, there's what looks like a small library, and on the opposite end you see what you think is the Treasury building. There's also a signpost pointing to a narrow gravel path which circles around to the back out of sight behind the Treasury and possibly further on, and the sign reads Cemetery of Humble. So a lot of the public kind of buildings here in this little area. The Treasury is far less flashy than the Council's office, but the presence of security is more obvious. There's some armed guards that stand outside, some iron bars over the windows. None of that out of character if there's a lot of money being housed here at the Treasury. There's signs that warning would-be intruders that there are magical defenses present. You see a couple signs around the exterior, possibly such as something like the alarm spell that they would utilize when business hours are over. The doors are open, and past the doors there's a little foyer with one person inside, but as you approach you can hear the muffled sounds of other employees working in other rooms. So there's a little room here that has one person, but he's clearly not the only person there today. You can hear sounds of other people working in other rooms. Haven't quite entered all the way in yet if you guys needed to consult before you headed inside.
What are you guys thinking?
Well, I think I would like to get my hands on the writing as much as possible. Just keep doing due diligence with matching to the letter. Outside of that, I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to also hear from Jome.
To what capacity?
Well, they are their runner-up candidate. They also have a position on the Treasury.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of details about what were Deshi to never be found, were the aqueduct to stop in its tracks, what happens with the money that has been raised for the aqueduct up to this point? How close were they to their goal? How much of the money they would need for the aqueduct had to be raised by Deshi before the Treasury may chip in and cover the rest of it? A lot of details about things like that. I'm also very curious, what were the insults that were traded back and forth? There's a lot of details. Jome seems like a major player in this case, although they did get his own of truth. But I'm probably not best to handle the interrogating, but I can do the writing.
My concern here, which may prove unfounded, is Jome was zoned, and also as a last-ditch effort, they used to detect thoughts. I'm not sure how welcome our presence is going to be if we get the opportunity to maybe ask one or two questions, assuming they're pretty short-tempered, which they would have a right to be. What's the primary objective here? Handwriting sample and one other major thing, what happens to the money if the aqueduct is not built?
If we had to choose between one of those things.
I'm also perhaps curious if he's intending to run again. Aren't they going to be holding special
That is true.
elections?
How long?
And if he'll change his opinion on the aqueduct if he knows that that's a almost surefire way to victory at this point?
Financially viable. Clearly, it won the election that time.
All right, so let's lead with handwriting sample, planning on running again, and information about the aqueduct, what that money would go towards. And if we can get more, then we'll try to get more.
Hopefully they will be amenable. It's not a good look if they were not willing to talk to us.
I would also be curious of the security measures they use on these buildings. If there's traps of some kind. We've never really considered if these victims were murdered by trap. All out in the wilderness, same sort of way of dying. What if there's some sort of trigger mechanism?
Some sort of trap that would hit them all on the head?
Directly on the noggin.
As they were trying to
In the
break
same
in here?
place?
No, just like if somebody had access to such magical traps, they could easily then
Set
construct
them somewhere
elsewhere.
else. I see.
They're placed in such random locations.
I wonder if we can get the security info from someone else.
Oh yes, I don't
Yeah, maybe
anticipate
not
Jome being
Jome.
an expert on the arcane.
I am curious why they do not have these set up at the city council house.
I guess it's
Money?
more like coin, gold, money, cash.
think people will be more likely. They think people will be more likely to want to break into the treasury. This makes sense.
I'm happy to let you lead the investigation, the interrogation. I will be on the lookout for lies.
Sure, but don't hesitate to jump in, either one of you.
Of course.
You guys head up the steps, and in a similar way, sort of hearing you come in, the man at the desk there. Is there something I can help you with?
My name is Agent Anders with the OEI.
We are a bit busy for the moment, so we're not taking loan applications.
Not here to apply for a loan. We had a few follow-up questions following Agent Goldpike's investigation. Should take only a couple of minutes.
Following the investigation from...
Ms. Kareem? 2 months ago, that's correct. Yeah, so we've been sent to just clarify a few things before the case officially closes.
All right. Like I said, we're very busy.
Understood.
What can I help you with?
We'd like to have a few minutes with Jome Talamonte.
Well, he's in the back. He's working, as are a number of the Treasury members. If you'd like to wait until he's finished, his working hours should be over in, I would guess, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
I believe we would prefer to see him sooner rather than later, if that is at all a possibility.
I can ask him, but I'm quite certain of the answer.
That would be
you
very
receive.
kind of you, thank you.
I'll be right back.
We're still OEI.
We are. But I did think this one might not be easy.
Comes back in after a moment. I'm so sorry. You'll have to wait until he's finished with it. There are some lovely sites and benches to sit on in the market square.
I think we'll spend the time elsewhere. We'll be back in an hour and a half.
All right. It's just that we're very busy. We've been given the go-ahead to reallocate some funds.
Oh, like for the aqueduct, you mean?
Yes. Initially, they were being held because Mrs. Kareem's status was in limbo. But now, she's been gone a while. We've been given the Treasury's been given the go-ahead to allocate those funds elsewhere.
Where does that permission come from? Is that the council passing that down?
Yes, that would be the council's commission.
When was that decided?
Earlier this week, 4 or 5 days ago. I know they'd been mulling it over before that, but officially.
We understand that the fundraiser was quite lucrative. How many funds are getting allocated?
The percentages were still working out. The aqueduct may yet still happen, but with the investigations and the safety concerns and the disappearance of the project's most ardent supporter, things were in a holding pattern. Even if the aqueduct does happen, it has been delayed, so we need to put that money to good use.
What were the top priorities now that these funds have freed up?
Some of the infrastructure in town, and bridges.
That's fair.
Is anything going towards a temporary measure to have the city get its water supply?
No, because the aqueduct was putting money towards Mr. Talamonte's plan or someone else's might be seen as inappropriately using those funds that were specifically in place for the aqueduct.
Yes, that would be gauche. If you don't mind, would there happen to be any sort of... How many members of the Treasury are there?
At least 22 as of last count.
22. Do they all tend to be... What is the word? Educated. Do they all tend to come from more of an academic background, or could they be anybody from town? More academic.
You have to be able to read and write and understand accounts and do math and allocate budgets.
All right.
Are you interested?
No. If this doesn't
You'd
work
be
out,
good at it.
I am rather fond of numbers. The council has elections. How is the Treasury formed? Is it also elections for the Treasury? Is it
No,
nominations?
they are appointed by members of the council.
Fascinating.
When Agent Goldpike was here, what was that like for Talamonte, for you? How often was he here?
He came by to speak with Mr. Talamonte more than a few times.
Mm-hmm.
That was not uncommon, and we were happy to oblige. Things were tense in town.
Was Talamonte at all? I mean, did he get annoyed at any point by the frequent visits?
I think he did, yes. Not so at first. He was happy to cooperate, but frustrations grew on both sides.
I ask because we are obviously aware of that it could be potentially frustrating for us being back, and we wouldn't want to take very, very much of his time if that was an annoyance for him.
I will forward that information to him on his way out. That your intent is not to irritate him.
As little as possible. He's already been thoroughly investigated. Unfortunately, we do have a few follow-up questions, but we'd like to be as in his way as little as possible.
I think if you're direct and don't take up too much of his time, he'd be happy to answer a few questions.
Understood. Does he usually leave punctually, or is it worth waiting around 20 minutes before he goes, or is he usually out the door at the exact same time?
I would say, given the amount of work we have on our plate, he won't be leaving before an hour and a half or later.
And front door, correct?
Yes.
There's no secret sort of treasury entrance.
There's a back set of double doors when lockbox carriages come through to drop off funds to the treasury, but I've never seen Mr. Talamonte use the back door.
One final question you actually might know. The security measures around here, would you be able to tell us anything about what exactly they are?
Mostly the alarm spell.
Sure.
A couple of arcane locks on some of the larger deposits.
Who has access to that magic? Where are you getting it from?
Lumens items, mostly.
Lumens items. It's quite impressive. I was not expecting to see that's something this sophisticated.
Yes, Hamburg has some connections with some friendly faces in Akoda, which is a fairly large city.
If the alarm spell were to be triggered, who receives that signal?
That would be one of the designated treasury men.
One of the 22 of them.
Yes.
Interesting.
So they all presumably live within a mile?
Most of them, if not all of them, certainly live within the Hamburg city limits, yeah.
Okay. So it's not an audible alarm spell. It would be triggered mentally for them.
Yeah.
And those double back doors, one more time, what are they used for again?
When the carriages arrive that have lockboxes containing funds for the treasury, we open them up to bring them in so that you're not bringing them just through the front door where business is being conducted.
Do you happen to have guards on watch at night as well, or is it purely the magical?
We do.
You do at night as well.
Matt, I know that we're not technically like right near Buckley's, but would guards that are outside at night on watch have any kind of
you've gone in different directions.
Okay.
Yeah. The Buckley's is not visible from here.
Ooh, what's going on over there?
Well, this has been tremendously helpful. I think we'll walk around for a little bit and then circle back when Mr. Talamonte is finished with his work.
Yes. What is your name, citizen?
Alfred Dean.
Alfred Dean, you said?
Dean.
Goddamn.
Laughing over Jordan's.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Thank you, Mr. Dean.
We appreciate it. Well, there are several other places I would like to meet up. If we have an hour and a half to kill, is there anywhere that jumps out, comes to mind for either of you?
I mean, I didn't realize the cemetery was right back there. I am a bit curious if the 5 victims were buried there. Something, I don't know, some gut instinct saying that would be worth having a look at.
What would be interesting, that's a great idea, because we could look and see if there's flowers on any of them, if anybody's been visiting the graves, or if somebody was truly alone.
You said that one of them is supposed to be engaged, correct?
Yes, although I don't believe we got the name of that person.
We did not.
We may be able to figure it out by examining the... I'm sorry, I upset their bowl of complimentary mints.
Please, just one.
We may be able to deduce who was engaged by what is being left at the tombs, at the markers.
I mean, that should be a fairly quick 10 minutes. It's a little gravel path back there, and then maybe we'll still have time to look at something else.
All right, let's go.
Guys, head around Mac. Meanwhile.
Well done.
Humber isn't a town so densely populated that the buildings like butt up against each other. But there's only a narrow strip of land between the pub next door and the residence here that you're walking up to, and it's enough that you imagine the inhabitants here occasionally might have to suffer through some of the nights of drunken revelry next door. Some of the rowdier evenings where the noise leaks through, and there is a light on within on the second floor, so it appears someone is within. And the iron knocker on the front door, as you get close to it, it feels unusually large for a private home. It's like something you'd see on the front door of like a town hall or a government building, like a larger purpose building. It's like a two-handed, like iron knocker on the front door.
Oh, I knew I was excited to talk to this gentleman. He looks like he has style.
All right. Let's hope his memory is as good as his style. Go ahead. Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Kind of some silence. And a man pushes the door open, and it's a Goliath man. He's sort of hunched over, sort of an elderly Goliath man. And he steps and takes a look out.
Afternoon.
Huh?
Oh dear.
He said, good afternoon. We are OEI officers. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Show me that.
Yeah, here you go. Well,
Says IMP.
it does.
What is that?
It's a new elite investigational unit. The
Hello, what?
elite investigational unit that has just been formed.
Okay.
I suppose we cut right to it, Rysynthian.
All right.
Mr. Hull, do you recall back a month or so ago, there was a series of murders?
Yeah.
We are wondering.
Found him. Did you?
We are close. We hope.
Good.
The night before, one of them went missing.
Yeah?
There is some small chance that someone visited, and I'm pointing across the road, and left word at Buckley's. Did you see anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I see him coming from the tavern all hours of the night.
Did it seem like Barrett talking to him that he got most of that, or half of it, or?
Exact percentage, please.
Give me an insight check.
Roll up.
Oh my
And
god.
that one.
His demeanor, it's just impossible to read.
Yeah. I'm.
That tracks.
Sir, what time do you wake up in the morning?
Whenever it's like.
Let me try something. This might help. I'm gonna point at him and I'm gonna message him, and I'm gonna say to him, maybe can you hear me better now in your head?
Oh.
I ain't heard like that since before the shrieker fungus got me.
Is he saying that out loud or just back in?
Out loud.
Oh, okay, great.
He doesn't understand the concept of the spell, but he can hear your voice in his head.
I'll say what I'm saying as well, just out loud to you guys, but
Okay.
messaging here. Who we're looking for.
Wow.
I know. Magic is something else.
Magic these days.
True. Just looking at you makes me happy, sir. I'm happy that you're having a good day and hearing me well.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you have anything perhaps you want to say to me now that we're having such a cordial conversation? Something to get off your chest.
I sure do hate some of those people next door.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are loud.
Loud even though it's you're hard of hearing.
Yeah.
Wow, so it gets quite rowdy outside.
Can.
Maybe I can talk to the treasury and see if we can get you some solid windows and a better wall.
I don't think they do that.
Wow. Like I said, elite
I'm
investigational
gonna
unit.
telepathically communicate with him.
Oh.
Poor guy.
I think we're getting some interference.
Sir, when you wake up in the morning, are there usually people leaving from the tavern at that early hour?
If they passed out, sometimes.
Well done.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
Sir, now that we've had time to formally understand how we can understand one another, now we can get to the heart of it. Do you remember, about 2 months ago, the night that Deshi went missing? Deshi Purim.
Deshi Preem.
Yes.
I voted for her.
Wow. That's awesome. Let's see if he follows up with anything.
What about her?
So, the night before she went missing and went to her extravaganza night at,
What?
I'm working on it. I'm sorry, sir. The night that she went over to, can I get the name cheat sheet? Ali Astra's home for the fundraising event.
Oh,
Yes.
she's rich.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
More general, Rysynthian. He doesn't know those people.
All right, so the night before, there was a letter dropped off at, freaking Buckley's. Now,
On the cheat sheet.
oh,
Oh,
Buckley's.
freaking Buckley.
Yeah. And someone dropped off a letter early in the morning. Were you perhaps looking out and seeing a strange person dropping something into his bin?
Yeah, it was Jeb.
Jeb.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Go
and-
get him.
Okay. You are a character. I love you. All right, Jeb. Anyone else that you is on your naughty list?
If you get Jeb, they'll all fall.
I think if you truly help us, and if there's anything else you can think, way back when, I can talk about getting that window made for you so you're not burdened night after night.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Andre Cynthian.
I've got one more thing to put in his mind.
Okay.
One more question.
Okay. Persuasion. Yes, finally. 23.
You can give me a good window.
Yes, of course.
I bet I can come up with a couple more names.
If I get you
Yeah.
the window.
Yeah, I can give them to you now.
Oh.
Just give me a second to think them.
Take as long as you need. We're in no hurry, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Ask him if he has anyone come around and help him out.
All
If
right.
he has a caretaker or something.
Sure.
Give him a moment.
Yeah, well,
He's thinking.
he's currently stewing.
I don't like Bowden. I'll give you his name.
Bowden. All right, so Jeb and Bowden. And who is Bowden to you, sir?
He's one of the boys across the street.
Okay. Someone off and around Buckley's.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Thank you, old man. Ho. I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
All right. Old man, ho.
That old man hole.
That's his name.
Hole.
That's what I said. Hole.
Oh, man, oh.
All right.
You gotta pay the troll. You gotta pay the troll toll.
If you want to.
I fear I lost you, son.
Yes, I was just conversing with my allies here. So, final question for you. Is there someone that comes around and helps you out from time to time? Helps you run errands if you don't want to leave your home, or...
I don't need no help.
Of course not. I'm just wondering if maybe you got a relative or a friend that comes and visits you often.
No, I outlived all them sons of bitches.
Yeah, you are stout of heart, and that is a lovely thing to watch. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Hull.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see about getting that window. All right.
Go get Jeb, go get him.
All right, and we're on our way. All right, let's go. One more thing. When when the knocker was used at the beginning, was there like any dust or anything? Like, was it never used that much? Like anything got unsettled?
Not. I mean, there was some dust that shook just because it was so heavy, like the door, like. But it didn't look like never used.
Inactive, yeah. Okay.
Well, that was wildly fruitful.
Oh, well, yeah, I hope you got everything you wanted out of that conversation.
Jeb obviously did it.
Yeah, I think they found our man.
I think there is a problem with all of the tavern folks coming and going in the wee hours. There's going to be a lot of foot traffic around here.
That must mean that someone somewhere was not drunken into a stupor that maybe could have seen him.
A lot of foot traffic, but not a lot of people slipping notes, as it was the only note that went in that morning.
But now we are a month and change later.
Maybe, perhaps, at Jeb's, whoever's running behind the bar, usually are not drinking as they're serving. Maybe they would know someone who overheard something.
Oh, this Bowden seems like a little rascal. Perhaps he was awake in the wee hours of the morning.
Maybe it was one of the men we talked to that seemed really nice. I don't know.
Perhaps.
That
Bowden says what?
But
All right. Well, that was all right, I guess.
Oh my god.
To the tavern!
That's as negative as Luca gets.
To Jeb's then.
Jeb next door to Jeb.
All right.
Meanwhile. Following the signposts and circling back around behind the treasury, there's a short path leading to a slowly rising hillside, where dozens of tombstones are organized into a fairly well-organized grid. The perimeter is lined with a kind of chest-high stone wall. It's not so much for keeping people out. I mean, you could climb over this. It seems more to designate the burial area and maybe discourage some of creatures from, wandering in there without purpose. Also, it provides a place for people to drape flowers and small remembrances for the fallen. You see, on the exterior wall is where most of these items are, not on the graves themselves. They kind of come to the wall and they lay something on the edge. But you can walk in. There's a couple of openings. There's like one on each side, so 4 kind of openings into the inside. There's a little it's not locked, but you sort of lift up a hatch and a little gate opens. So it's open to the public. You just keep animals out from kind of coming in through the openings.
Shall we split up and check for all the victims?
Yes.
That's like a good idea.
Spectacular.
All right.
Well, you can make perception checks. You can make it with advantage. You have a moment here. Browse the rows.
Guidance.
Yeah, you knew you were going to.
Same for me.
Big -1.
How does guidance work?
Oh, extra D4.
It's just D4. Okay.
This is perception.
Yep. Just approximate.
17.
14.
Does the guidance get advantage as well?
No, just 1.
18.
18. You take a browse through, and it doesn't take too long, but it takes, it's not a tiny cemetery, and it takes a little while to circle in and out of the rows, but you do locate all 5 graves. Sasha Sutton, Tyler May, Elisha Bright, Hyman Pratt, and Quinby Boyle. They're in different spots. You didn't get any sense that they were related, but they're not like with other people who were deceased. Some of them are with other family members. There's a couple other Suttons. There's another Pratt. so they're not getting buried with some of their family members. Look at all 5.
Do they have, custom dedications or, words about them written on the graves?
They don't. It's pretty simple. It seems to be sort of Humber tradition to keep things pretty plain and sort of let the deceased speak for themselves. Give me a investigation check.
That's a big one.
What I'm good at. Okay, that is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You do notice that at Tyler May's grave and at Quinby Boyle's grave, there isn't anything laid on them because that seems to be saved for that exterior wall where people drape flowers and, little rosary equivalent items. But there's some imprints around them, like more foot traffic around a couple of those graves.
Are they both buried by family? Does it seem like they have active family?
Quinby is not. There's a couple other Mays nearby.
Okay. Alright, so it could be that there's just a lot of Mays in town.
Or he could be the one that's engaged, was engaged.
That
Yes.
was my thought.
We know it's not Quinby.
How does the ground on each of the graves look? Is it all kind of grass is growing up the same amount of time?
For the 5 of them, they all look relatively the same,
Consistent?
but there's less kind of lush grass over those compared to some other ones
Yeah.
because they haven't presumably been there as long.
But there's no notable disturbance in any of the dirt for any of them.
No, not super. It doesn't look recently like it's settled down to the point where it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Since it appears we have some time to spare, would you all mind if maybe I did a ritual cast of detect magic just to exhaust all possible
Go for it.
options?
That's a great
no
idea.
reason not to. Actually, while you're doing it, I may also take the time to examine the letter a little more closely, just because if we have the time, could I ritual cast identify and really just try to break down, figure out has this? It said that Goldpike had checked it, but just trying to confirm is this paper not have anything else going on with it outside of the illusory script that is already used for the crest.
I'd like to go. I'm going to check the backs of all of the graves just to make sure that all just looks as a back of a grave should.
Yeah.
And then,
Disturbed.
yep, and then go to the wall and just look through the items that have been left on the wall.
Okay, there's quite a few of those. Give me an investigation check to see if you notice anything sort of out of ordinary. During this time, also, you're able to finish detect magic. It's a little vague because they're underground, and I think it's blocked
It does.
by.
Shit,
What
it's
is
like
it
a foot of-
blocked by?
Oh wait, no, it might be stone. Let me see what dirt would be.
1 foot of stone, dirt, or wood.
Oh boy.
So you may not able to get anything from the graves.
Okay.
As you sort of walk along, though, you catch a couple sort of flickers of some things that have been left along the wall.
Oh, okay.
Not from a particular school of magic, but possibly some personal effects of theirs that maybe the person didn't even know were you probably wouldn't just magical items, even not expensive
Yeah.
ones, are still pretty valuable. So they might have been like, oh, this was something of theirs, lay it out and not knew that it was magical.
Damn.
Yeah.
So a couple things like that.
Okay.
And the identify, just a little bit of illusory magic that you're able to pick up from it. So and then what was the investigation check?
21.
21. Similarly, you watch Agent Bete, she's clearly detecting magic, and you see her kind of move over toward the wall as she picks up some readings of magic. And as you're kind of moving along the side, there's a number of very simple things, but then there's a couple nicely embroidered. You get the impression that there's a kind of tradition of weaving something for the fallen because there's several of those. There's sort of like a thin, almost like a scarf, like a little long strip. And they have different designs. Some of them will have a dog. Some of them will have some letters, like maybe pets or remembrances or all kinds of things like that. And one of them that you pick out with sort of the strength of that roll is one that looks like a little circle with 2 vertical lines running through it. And you see that a couple times. So a significant symbol to some of the people in Umbra.
And Matt, while we were scanning, I don't think there is one, but no grave for Deshi. Nobody's
No.
taken some
No,
symbolic.
I have not. No.
That's a good question.
and you guys did a pretty thorough search. I mean, and this whole process with looking through the graves, then the time for ritual and looking around, I mean, this has been 45 minutes that you guys have spent here. So.
The only thing I turned up that was really of interest is this symbol. I'll show it to them. This circle with 2 vertical lines running through it shows up quite a bit.
11th Garrison?
The 11th Garrison.
Maybe?
Yes.
That's a good thought.
That's my first thought. We can't confirm it, but...
It doesn't say who it's assigned to or anything, like it's...
It doesn't. The things are on the wall. Presumably they might have put it, as close as
Close-ish.
possible, but again, it's just the perimeter, so it could be someone in the interior.
How many are we talking here? Like under 5? More than 5?
Half a dozen. Yeah,
Okay.
like 6 or 7 of these ones that have that symbol on it, yeah.
So the 11th Garrison is quite a meaningful presence here then.
It seems like, yes, a number of the people here seem to have served.
I fear that people will have a strong opinion of this group either way. Nobody's gonna be, indifferent.
Neutral to it.
Well, if Deshi was able to win an election off of the back, largely of her military career, clearly that holds sway for at least some of the people in town.
I do feel like there's a lot more info we need about that.
There is. I mostly just don't know how to go about it. We may need to travel if
Back
we want
to
to
Foley,
actually
maybe.
get to.
Ask Foley if he's got any
good insights on how to get in with them?
Yeah, I would.
I have the feeling we would need to leave the town in order to get there. It would be a bit of a travel, probably. I don't think they're based here.
Correct.
Is there anything else we want to check? There's a lot of places I would like to look. I want to look at all of the places where bodies were found. Were any of those places, near here, within 10 minutes or so?
Not that close. You'd be risking, because they said minimum an hour and a half, and it's been a little over 45 minutes. So if you left to go somewhere that isn't really close, you might miss him. You might not, depending on when he leaves. But awesome.
Anything we can do on shorter timeline? I think a lot of the stuff that I wanted to look into is a lengthier conversation than 45 minutes. How close are we to Buckley's?
I mean, again, you guys kind of split when you left the office, so farther than that, you wouldn't want to leave if you didn't. If you want to make sure you wouldn't miss it.
I'm comfortable just sitting and waiting.
Yeah, that does something to my pride a little bit.
Oh, would you prefer to put on some kind of a performance?
I want to look busy. Yeah, I don't want to just sit and wait. I think we should.
Could stroke his ego that we've been waiting.
I don't want to stroke his ego.
Oh,
do
you're still
something.
You're still
Not
the bad
that.
cop.
No, I'm not a bad cop. I just I do have a bit of an ego, and I don't know. I just don't want to sit there like a little child waiting to go to the principal's office. You know what I mean?
I think it's all about perspective, but I'm happy to sit and wait if you all wanted to go somewhere.
No, I don't want you waiting, Bete. I think we need to really look like we're doing something.
What's wrong with going to the principal's office?
Gods. Okay.
He's in charge of the whole thing. He's a very esteemed individual.
Yeah, it would be quite an honor, actually.
Are we sure that we've exhausted this graveyard? I mean, you two nerds, have you really, really exhausted this here? Have you, turned over every rock and leaf?
Is there anything we could gather from the belongings that are being left on this wall? Is there some sort of
Could there be a pattern to the objects?
If we're looking for a connection between the victims, it seems like a long shot, but maybe. Sure, let's look for patterns in the belongings. See if maybe we could identify if any of these belong to any of the victims specifically.
And I'll just keep an eye on the door.
I think that's a much better use of our time.
Waiting in secret rather than waiting overtly.
Waiting with dignity, Bete. Waiting with dignity. Waiting with your pride and tact. That means something.
Okay, these politics are beyond me, but I'm willing to learn.
You'll learn.
Meanwhile, this little pub here is as unassuming as it gets. There isn't even a sign above the door with a name or any indication of what the establishment actually is. But whenever the door swings open, you can hear some clinking glasses, some low laughter. It's not packed at this particular time, but there's already a few people in there. It's getting to be later in the afternoon. There's a couple stools and small tables set up outside. There is some exterior seating. They're currently occupied by a pair of older halfling gentlemen that are both smoking pipes. Tanned and leathery skin of people who work outside every day. Inside, even though it's not currently packed with patrons, it feels very cramped. There's a lot of furniture in here than one would want in a space this size. The gaps between the tables are hardly wide enough for two people to pass by each other without making contact, and the area behind the bar is jam-packed with kegs and wine barrels. It makes it hard for the staff to maneuver. You watch someone who like takes someone's tankard and they have to do like this to like fill it up with the thing. God. And then they pull it out. So this place is a real sort of insular, old school joint. It's a very for locals, by locals kind of atmosphere. And even as you enter, a couple of the people that are drinking, just obvious outsider presence there. Nothing nasty. You don't hear any remarks, but just people that they know aren't regulars here.
We're already inside.
I was gonna ask.
You could have stopped at the door.
Okay.
I want to enter separate. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry.
I wanted to maybe not enter with you guys. You want to?
Oh, I'm hanging back.
Oh, you don't want to go in?
Oh, I guess none of us are going.
That's it.
We can say that some of those looks came from the two gentlemen outside.
Okay.
You guys didn't want to have come in.
Hear me
Some
out.
raised eyebrows.
If it looks like this is a one-man show and Jeb runs this place by himself, I'll join you quickly. But I want you to try to see if this might be where Blair works. If he does, I want to come back later without this.
All right.
Right? I'm going to go and hit the head. You go and approach Jeb or whoever's up there.
Right.
And when I come back from the bathroom, you give me a look that says, get the hell out or come on over.
So come on over if Blair
We
does
can
not
communicate.
work here.
I can communicate.
Give me the look anyway, will you?
We'll see.
I was thinking, I mean, if we're going in together, I didn't maybe want to enter with an OEI face. Not necessarily hiding it, but talk to the locals as a traveler, you know? And then if they'd inquire and be like, yeah, but I'm an OEI officer, but I'm one of you, you know?
We could be
But you're
brothers.
gonna ask him about month-old murder?
No, I'll trickle it in there. We got to start a conversation, you know? You got to get...
Well, I'll go number 2 then.
Okay.
I'll give you
I've been cooking up a real
In that case, I'm gonna destroy the head.
There's a couple of latrines around the corner.
Does that sound like something you want to do? Do you want to pretend that we don't know each other? I don't think that's a good idea, but...
We can be brothers.
No. All right, let's I step inside.
Oh yeah, so the bathroom's not inside. It
They're
would be
outside,
they would be
yeah.
outside.
And no walls.
Yeah.
You gotta look them straight in the eye.
I'll go check out the
Inside,
side.
again, very, very cramped. The man behind the bar that seems to be running things, he's not the only person serving drinks, but it's an orcish gentleman. He looks like he's in his 40s, kind of has a round, reddish face of someone who's imbibed his fair share over time. And he looks like he has a bandage wrapped around his left palm, too, like in this chaos of serving, a little cut there on his hand, but you can see him kind of, we wanted one over there. What? He's working at the bar.
Try to find an open seat or a space, like right at the bar.
You can, there's a couple of seats. You have to
Have
kind
it in.
of pull all the way up to the bar there.
Good afternoon, sir. Travelers we be.
Sorry, my younger brother.
Beer.
So don't ignore.
Biscuits. Dinner victuals are still being cooked up, so you'd have to wait.
Oh, that's fine. We just heard that this is a
Wine,
Biscuits.
beer, biscuits.
One of each, please.
I'll have a beer, please. Oh my goodness, it is cramped in here, and I do not like how many hands are nearby me.
And the platter of biscuits was like already on the table. And he picks it up.
Hard as a rock.
Oh.
All right.
Let me know if you need anything else.
Certainly. I heard from a local nearby that this was the place to go for a beer. Looking for a Jeb. Said, did I find him?
I'm Jeb.
All right. It's a pleasure to meet you. It was Bowden from nearby. He's pointing me in your direction. I was looking for a drink. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Now, do you just serve one type of ale, or is it one that really speaks to you, Jeb?
Wine, beer. Those are the options.
I'll stick with the beer then, and then maybe try the wine after. How long you been in Humber?
Longer than you.
Oh yeah, I'm fresh face. But such a welcoming atmosphere in this town.
Thanks.
Yeah. And you've owned this establishment for years now?
Yes, I have.
Well, that's fantastic. I love a guy who can just make his business known and then run with it, and you live your life like that. I love that.
Why don't you make your business over there by one of those tables so the other customers can access the bar?
I see. You're not wanting to converse with someone like me, more of a local guy, which I totally understand.
I'm busy.
Busy.
Come on, brother.
All right. Well, next time when I finish this beer, I'll come over and try that wine, Jeb.
Gosh, you look so much alike. Just like twins you must be.
Adopt.
My father cheated.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll be back for that wine. Oh, Georgie, do not touch my arm like that ever again, please. All right, let's find a chair. Scan the room. Are there people that are like looking at us? Like
Yes, there's several.
there's several.
Yeah.
I'll find one that has 2 empty seats or one next to them.
Okay.
Whichever I see first.
The table, yeah, I mean, there's a table that has one empty seat across from it. It's a sort of elven gentleman, maybe later 50s.
Good luck. I'm gonna go sit on that one stool.
I'm waiting for someone.
Can I keep you company until that someone arrives? You can say no. I would not be offended. This is my first time here. I don't know the order of things.
You can sit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the hospitality. I was worried Jeb up there. He seemed like he wanted me to get away from the bar as quick as possible, so I was hoping I could find a friend to sit by.
You can sit here, but you're not my friend.
Understand? Maybe by the end of the night.
Yeah, maybe.
I have to say, it's only my first day in town. It's been super lovely. The atmosphere is wonderful, but there has been word of things happening in the last couple months that kind of scare me. I'm not gonna lie.
You looking to live here?
And I'm more visiting.
Then why the fuck would you be scared?
Because I wanted to maybe stay for a week or two, but I've heard there might be some things going on.
Might not be for you.
Things go on like this often.
No, but if you're only staying for a couple of weeks, maybe best to go somewhere else.
Stay with an open heart. You never know. Have your mind changed? This place might really grasp me in the week or two I'm here.
You know, I think I changed my mind. I think no.
Get up and go. Can I get a name for allowing me to sit with you for a moment?
No.
All right. Good night. Do you like the wine or the beer more?
It's fine.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
This place is awful.
I think I
to?
chugged my beer
Sure.
and then I carried my biscuit back to the door frame where those two dudes were sitting.
Yeah, sure.
Just kind of like, yeah, I leaned up against there and you boys familiar with Roberto Duloc?
It's in a book or something.
Yes. Absolutely fantastic stories. Absolutely loved them as we talked. Fancy myself a bit of a storyteller as well.
When you were a wee tot.
My youth precedes me. Y'all heard any great stories lately I could take down for a tale of my own?
Yeah. The story of the boy who drank somewhere else.
Ouch! I will chomp down my biscuit.
And cry. I will have cleaned up.
They see you and they're like, that guy I like. That's a man who knows his way around.
Holy shit.
You came out in time to see you couldn't hear what was being said, but like a little
Okay.
friendly, and then
Okay.
Leyo like turns away from them. Like,
All right. In a quick scan of this place, is it just who I can assume is Jeb over the bar? Are there like bar? What's the non-gender specific maid? Like,
there's a server.
there is
There's
somebody
someone that
going
when
around.
he pours, he'll hand it to somebody, and they'll take it to a table. Yeah.
okay, so I'm clocking them as kind of already like, sweating it. I'll just kind of come in and find my way to like a kind of an empty. Okay, the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? You said it's pretty crowded. Is there kind of like a one end of it that's?
There was like 4 seats at the bar. They sat at 2 of them briefly, but even then, it's like pretty cramped. Like, and right now, since they left, like 2 other people, so there's 2 open
Okay.
stools, 2 occupied stools.
All
at
right.
the bar.
Then instead of that, I'm gonna look for an unoccupied table that maybe has another table close to it where there's people sitting. That
Okay,
maybe
I would
be,
say
like,
there's an empty
behind
one, and kind of behind you, maybe Luca, unless you left. Like, did you find another table?
By the time you came in, if we ever locked eyes with Vic,
Yeah.
and then just kind of milling about.
I'm trying to sit on my own, but with like maybe people behind me
Sure.
that I can like listen to for a minute, and then
Okay.
if I wanted to turn to talk
Sure.
to them.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
19.
19. Okay. It seems like the topic of their conversation. You hear a couple things like, "It sounds like those funds are opening up finally. See if we can get some of these bridges fixed. That would be nice."
If somebody came by, I like ordered a beer.
Sure,
for
yeah,
them.
you can
yeah,
grab
they pay for it and everything. Just like I'll take a few minutes, listen to that.
Yeah,
drinking
they
the
seem to be
beer.
talking about
Yeah.
how the funds are going to be spent now that that's been given the okay.
All right. After a few minutes, I'll kind of turn and like, excuse me, couldn't help but overhear, in town, my cousin, he and I used to travel around to different monasteries and stuff, but he settled around here. He made it sound like you've got a whole other round of elections coming up. Is that true?
Come on, boyo.
Let's go.
18.
That's about time, I say. Certainly been held up long enough.
Sounds to me like they already got your input. What do they need? They need you to do it all over again?
When the winner goes missing, now everybody has to try again.
Missing? He didn't tell me about that.
Someone wanted a seat at the council. They went missing. It's been a while. Now they're opening it up again.
Wow. Well, from the sounds of it, you'd have to have about 5 stars on your lapel to even be considered for something like that, right?
We hold our soldiers in high esteem.
As you should. Cheers.
Cheers. Give me a charisma check.
15.
Where you from?
Koroa Alti.
Long way from here,
Not that far.
I suppose.
By dive rail, everything's close these days, isn't it?
If you got the coin for it. Anyway, enjoy Humboldt.
Yeah, well. Turn back around. Kind of turn away again. Sit for a little while.
Is there like a window I can stand by and just kind of look out? I just want to look at the street and see if there's carriages that pass by that don't look like they're going, in and out of Buckley's, but...
Yeah, you can keep an eye. No, nothing so far.
Okay.
Mostly foot traffic, but yeah. And then Luca.
Is there another table that has 1 or 2 chairs open with people at it?
Yeah.
I'll sit down. I'll sit down.
It looks like those guys are like, they might even be playing craps. They're throwing a couple dice.
Oh.
Five's the point.
Nice roll.
What?
I just was watching you play your game. And that's roll the dice. You know your way around the dice. Yeah.
5's the point. Here we go. Alright.
You guys know an old man Hole?
Yeah. Crazy old bastard next door.
Yeah, he started yelling at me the moment I crossed across his porch.
It's 5 to the pass. Alright.
I couldn't tell if it was because I'm not from here that he hated me or he just hates everybody.
He doesn't like anybody in here.
Oh.
Hey.
Why did he hate me then?
I don't know. He might have thought you came from here.
No. Well, it seems pretty jovial in here. I don't know why he would hate anybody in here. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. You can keep playing. I'm just making idle chat.
It's fine. Sometimes the guys get drunk. They throw rocks at the window.
Oh, I see. I mean, people will be people, I suppose. I'll sit and if they like play a couple more games so without saying anything.
They don't object to you being there. They look at you a couple times, but they mostly they're quiet. They're pretty focused on the game. Like most of their conversation is based purely around the rolling of the dice. But
all right, well I'm gonna head out here soon. Would you be opposed to me joining in a round or two? Quick buck, get a quick gamble in, and then I'm out of here.
they kind of look around, and the place isn't packed. And look, no offense.
Yeah.
Maybe when it gets a little busier.
Oh. Yeah, no offense taken. Perhaps I'll be back later. I don't know. Pleasure meeting you guys. I'll try to take note of like who they are if I.
Sure. Toss a couple of rocks, old man Hole's way while you're out.
All right, give him an actual reason to scream at me this time.
During this time.
I'll have finished my beer and I'll go. It's still just the one orc behind the bar. Kind
Yeah,
of,
I mean, again, the server will like come up to the bar and he'll hand stuff to them and they'll take it. So he's pretty much the one occupying the space behind him.
I'll kind of go right up and like put my empty one on the bar. Blair ever 10 bar here?
Yep.
What's his usual night?
Who's asking?
She'd be embarrassed. I don't want to say.
Yeah, deception check.
Oh, come on, Anthony!
Let's go.
Oh my god.
Deception. 9. My old friend's niece. She's got eyes for him. I just wanted to come and take a look for him and make sure she's not getting into anything.
He ain't in today. Back tomorrow.
All right. Thanks. I'll, like, go back to the table and like sip that one, and maybe go to a different table and just try to overhear some more, a little bit more.
From me perched by the window, I'm gonna take out my book, out of my coat pocket, my well-worn copy of the Adventures and Deeds of Roberto Duloc, and can I also, whatever table is nearby, just keep an ear out?
All you give me perception checks.
Okay.
Everyone's like, these out of towners. Perception 21.
Ugh.
19.
10.
Okay, one thing for each of you. Near the craps table, you might have sort of loosely left their company, but still in the general vicinity. One thing that just jumps out at you, and it sounds like they're still talking about the dice game that they're playing, but one of the guys kind of rolls and, you know, I was following Andrew. He had a hot hand the other day. He's rolling there.
Okay, yeah.
And something that Cade hears on his end is the first name doesn't kind of mean anything to you, but you hear one of them say, "Is Dexter coming in?" No, he's with his 11th boys at the other one.
This goes deep, boys.
Meanwhile,
How's our dignity doing?
Camille is like sweaty. Like there's pit stains. The hair is a little bit deflated.
Why?
It's summer. It's hot.
I was like, what were we doing meanwhile?
Just sitting out in the.
Doing push-ups in front of the treasury.
Discern anything further about the items around the perimeter? I mean, you got sort of some repeating symbols that were around the perimeter that might have had a military context.
Okay.
And you feel like you've waited certainly enough time to start wandering back in the direction. Time has gone by.
Anything about the money stand out as we should follow up about that? It was kind of unexpected that they're starting to spend that. Not unreasonable, but not info we had before.
I'd be curious if there was any sort of point person that was in charge of sort of persuading the council people to start reallocating all of those funds.
I'm curious. It seems like they were struggling to raise money to do these repairs, to be able to get this much money coming in for the aqueduct. I mean, that was a lot of money in one night. For it to then be getting funneled into these other projects. It's very curious. I guess I wonder why that fundraiser was so successful when it seems like their infrastructure in general has just needed help.
I think she had people excited.
As you guys are standing there, you see a man emerge from the treasury, comes down the staircase, and he looks like he had just kind of put his jacket on. He's human. He has a fine set of kind of form-fitting clothes that includes a kind of tasteful embroidered navy vest and a pair of gray pants. His hair's thinning a little bit, but he has it neatly combed to the side to disguise a little bit of the thinning, and he has a book tucked under his arm as well, a ledger perhaps, like it doesn't look like a fiction book, like accounts from within the treasury. And despite there being a little bit of pomp to his appearance, he doesn't strike you as someone who never had to work for a living or never had to work hard for a living. His face is marked with stress lines, his hands are a little rough with some scarring, like you don't know if he'd always held a treasury position, but he looks like a man who's worked a little bit, not someone who's sort of lived in the lap of luxury his whole life. And he sort of gets his jacket fitted, and then he starts to walk with the book kind of under his arm. He sort of takes long strides. He doesn't see you right away. You're standing kind of off to the side. He starts to walk.
Good evening, Mr. Talamonte. My name is Camille Anders. I'm with the OEI. These are my colleagues, Agent Karakinos.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
You see, Nigel Karakinos.
And Agent Bete.
May I see your badge again?
Sure.
IMP, what is that?
It's a specialized unit new to the OEI. We're assigned cases that have gone cold. See if we can dig anything up.
Well, for anything related to the investigation, you should speak with either Major Foley or Detective Goldpike.
We have, and we had just a couple of follow-up questions for you.
I spoke with them extensively. I have no new thoughts on the matter, so if you need something, I think they would be the best source of information.
We have a couple of fresh questions that we didn't see them ask you. Not asking you to reiterate any information, and if you feel that we're doing so, let us know.
I did not find it unreasonable that Detective Goldpike would initially suspect some involvement on my part in Mrs. Bream's disappearance, given the extent of our public disputes. However, at this point, I do find continued lines of questioning unreasonable, given the extent of my cooperation the last time around.
Sir, with all due respect, your cooperation the last time is why we're reaching out now, because we're mainly asking about peripheral things that maybe the original agents were not as thorough on, and you are a reliable source in this town for us to get started.
He tried to read my thoughts. Did you know that? Is that in the file?
Did he do that with your permission?
He did not.
I'm gonna take... I actually don't know how this works, so if this is really stupid of me, don't let me do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna take my focus off. Is that... Do I have to, is that gonna take me, 2 years to reattune to?
No,
or?
you don't have to attune to a focus. Yeah, I
Great.
mean, there's lots of spells you can cast even without a focus, but that's not a gesture of good faith. But
Great. Karakinos, hold this for me.
Give me a persuasion check.
Great.
$22. I don't do that shit. I don't condone that shit. That's not gonna happen here.
Can you walk with me?
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt the action with Matt. Did that seem true? That
Which part?
that Goldpike did not get permission or consent to do
Give me an insight check. We're gonna take a little look at something that hasn't come up.
Wait.
What are you saying?
We're playing
What do you mean by that?
We're playing craps.
In the 2024 rules, and for our campaign specifically, insight checks no longer say in the rulebook that you can like discern a lie so specifically as it is. What you can do, however, is sort of suss out a person's intentions. And the way that insight checks are going to work in this campaign is basically almost like a polygraph, which is picking up on people's stress levels, tics, nervousness, and you guys have to interpret what that means. There's not going to be any like, he's lying, he seems like he's lying.
Yeah.
You will be able to sense sort of stress or disturbances, and the strength of your insight check will help you do that. But the way it's going to look is like this.
What?
And a green light is sensing very little disturbance.
Okay.
And then yellow is starting to feel little signs of, swallowing, sweating, little signs all the way to, orange, and then red, sort of obvious signs of stress and disturbance. What was the insight check?
25.
Wow, Bete.
As he was describing Agent Goldpike and their interactions, you got nothing at all. And with that thought in your head, that's where we're going to take a little break. With our first insight checking polygraph
That's
test.
bad.
That's crazy.
Oh
What if-
yeah,
what's
did we know
that?
that
Goldpike did
he
that?
did
That
that?
it's not consented.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
We
think there
got the
was-
file. It
It said he probed.
It was
deeper,
the
I think.
last ditch effort before he closed the case. It was like
did
the last thing
did
he
say
tried
that
to
he-
do.
Yeah, but
It's certainly frowned
I don't know
upon,
if
no
it-
matter
I,
what.
think he said he just did surface level, I believe.
Right,
And
but-
didn't see anything.
But he didn't ask permission.
He
like
didn't
I get
ask
that.
consent to do
Does
it.
it say that he like did it without even
think
asking?
he just
People
said it's-
usually don't ask permission
Yeah.
to detect.
Can I probe?
You would ask permission for a zone of truth because,
Oh.
like detect thoughts is used when maybe you've used other courses have run dry. You could ask, but
Yeah, it does say it was a last attempt to gather, so it was
Yeah,
like at
but
the
like
end
that
of
could've
their
just
time
been
together.
like, hey, dude, do you mind?
I mean that was
Bye.
after a zone of truth. So he
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
man, last ditch effort, even with the zone of truth, maybe he had a way of fooling the zone of truth. Can I?
Goldpike is a fool.
Wow.
So we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk to Jome Telemonte. Stick with us, and we'll be back in a little bit. Stretch your legs.
We're gonna start a bar fight.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm looking for.
All right, we're live, I guess. Super secret. Oh, babies. People found us right away. Guys, this was supposed to be a secret stream. A secret 103-degree stream. But I did go live by accident, and I just rolled with it. I was like, you know what? I've literally... There's a button on my stream deck that's like go live and end stream. And I've never hit it, ever. It's always Jordan. So I did. I was like, you know what? I'll hit that today. Okay. What did we learn? Welcome back, everybody, to Bloody Be the Turnips, Chapter 3. The investigation continues. Some bits and pieces, some nibbles here and there, some threads to follow. Anything before we dive back in and talk to Mr. Talon?
Yes. Excuse me. Insanely Flashlight resubscribed. Long Tall did 15 bits. Tosa Valkyra 25 bits. Jay Bleezy resubscribed, and Battle Pantaloons 50 bits. Thank you very much.
Very much.
Fun name.
You guys begin to walk, and he walks briskly, but not in an attempt to sort of outpace you. It just seems to be his kind of normal moving pace. You guys kind of walk alongside him, and he nods, lets you follow. So, what did I not make clear to Mr. Goldpike that I can make clear to you?
Well, sir, let us just be forthright here. We're asking you questions not because we still consider you a suspect. We've only got 7 days before this case goes completely inactive. And you and your cooperation, Goldpike's choices aside, we thought that you would be a trustworthy citizen to help us understand the town in the very limited amount of time that we have.
Give me a persuasion check.
Nice. Well said.
I would guidance myself, but he doesn't like that. Sorry, persuasion.
She's reading my thoughts.
12.
giving you a length of time. I'll be as helpful as I can. What can I tell you?
I think primarily. Oh, you can take it.
Length of time.
Yes. I think primarily we're not interested in alibi or anything. You did Zone of Truth. That's all good. We're curious. We're curious about some of the state of the town during the election. We heard that things got heated. There were insults being thrown back and forth between you and Mrs. Pareem. We would like to know what was being said about you, the temper she was taking, so we can try and figure out what may have been motivating people, making people so passionate around this water situation.
I told this to Detective Goldpike, but I think most people would agree that the hostilities started with Mrs. Pareem. Her attacks mostly centered around the fact that people felt that I had not gotten enough done as a member of the Treasury Board. That there were still a lot of things around town that were in disrepair. That the funding of the Treasury should have gone toward, which is, of course, partially the fault of the Council, but such nuances are difficult to communicate to the hoi polloi.
Do you have a particularly strong say in the Treasury? We understand there are 22 members. Is that evenly distributed that way, or does your opinion hold particular sway?
I think that people have come to trust me quite a bit for my fiscal responsibility and my duty to the town. I think that the board itself believes that I have served honorably and without any incidents. So while we all hold the same power, one might say, I think that many of them would trust my opinion in the matters of finance.
And they felt let down by the amount that was being put into infrastructure.
Yes.
It makes sense then that your take on the aqueduct was that it would be way too much of an expense for the other things that the town currently needs.
I think that it was an unrealistic promise, yes. And in turn, I got together with my aides, and we felt that we did not wish to back down and appear weak. So we devised a few counterattacks of our own.
Fair counterattacks?
During her time with the 11th Garrison, Mrs. Pareem never rose to a particularly high rank for someone who had been there as long as she had. We pushed the narrative that there were questions about her leadership skills and whether or not she was qualified.
Do you happen to know why she never rose any higher? Were there any incidents while she was there, or is that...
Not that I know of. She claimed that she preferred to be at the front line, in the most active position. Even if someone did feel that she had not risen to a high rank because of shortcomings on her behalf, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who would be willing to admit that.
We did get the sense in our very limited time here so far that the 11th Garrison is held in extremely high regard here.
I would say that is a fair characterization.
About how much of the town's population would you say is heavily pro-11th Garrison?
There are a number of military units that the residents of Humber are a part of. I would say that one is held in particularly high esteem for their heroics in keeping some of the goblin clans at bay, as well as Knoll clans, Kuatoa, anything coming in from the coast. I have no particular ill will toward the 11th, you understand? But yes, I believe that simply being a member of the 11th raises one's estimation in you, whether you deserve it or not.
Are we talking, I know it's in precise measure, but 50% of the town that would elevate you and the other 50 wouldn't care, or is this much more skewed?
I would say closer to 90-10.
Great, very helpful.
And sir, those 10 that you're referring to, could you take a guess as to what their negative comments would be and how founded they would be?
Brutality. Send the 11th in with an objective to scatter the goblin clans. And instead of scattering the clans, you wind up with burned camps, slaughtered groups of goblins, which does not weigh on the conscience of many. But, yes,
And is the Treasury at all responsible for helping sort of fund the 11th?
All of the towns in the surrounding area are permitted and required to give a certain percentage of the budget for military events, yes.
And we've just recently heard that there's a reallocation of the Aqueduct Fund. Is the 11th Garrison sort of absorbing any of that?
No. Those funds were set aside for Humble specifically, and so they will be reallocated as such.
Was there a sort of protocol for the reallocation, amount of time passed? Or is this perhaps the Treasury Department going on behalf of those funds to tell the council maybe it's time to reallocate?
It was ongoing negotiations between the Treasury and the Council. We've never had a situation like this before, so it was unprecedented. There is no set period of time at which the funds become available or are released.
How, compared to the funds you usually have access to, how large of an amount would you say that these funds that just got released, are you able to do a lot with this?
We are not releasing all of the funds until the status of Mrs. Pareem is confirmed. But this would be a massive infusion of gold for the Treasury. I will give her some credit. Mrs. Pareem did not back off of her promises regarding the aqueduct. I still think that the project is doomed to fail, but she raised considerably more money in a short period of time than we thought she would.
If this money was always out there, why do you think she was able to secure this if it has been hard to find this funding before?
She is able to secure funding from sources that are not as easy to get from others. Friends from out of town, ex-11th, who have gone on to do things elsewhere. I'm sure you are already aware of the name Ali Galloway, wealthy in her own right.
Yes.
A couple of other members of the 11th went on to be public representatives in other villages, as well as wealthy shipping merchants. People of the 11th look out for each other. That's certainly how they would characterize it. And I believe that some of them came to make substantial donations on Mrs. Pareem's behalf.
So you think a large amount of the funding here came from outside of Humble?
Once she was elected, yes.
And were those funders also possibly going to benefit monetarily from the building of the aqueducts?
There was some talk of favorable trade agreements. There's a lot of good timber here around Humble. Transfers, tariffs lower than usual, as one would send any of the natural resources that we have plentifully here around Humble.
Would this have made Humble answer to anybody else? Would this have allowed some of these other parties to perhaps apply pressure on Miss Pareem or the town as a whole?
I wouldn't say that, no.
Okay.
So did any of the victims that were found dead, did they have any bad blood with the 11th Garrison?
If they did, I don't know.
We heard that one of them was actually recently engaged. Was that May?
I don't know. I know very little about the victims.
Apologies if this is a sensitive question, but how close was the election at the end of the day?
Close, but not as close as my aides would characterize it. As the votes were being counted, we got the impression very early on who the winner was going to be.
You called it?
What do you mean?
Did you sort of forfeit the election before the total counts?
No, we waited for the counts to be totaled. But we asked people as they were leaving, or my aides did, and based on the percentage of replies, we extrapolated and guessed that perhaps it was not in the cards.
Forgive me if this is speaking out of turn, but I couldn't help but notice. You don't seem entirely what I would expect from somebody in a treasury position, but not in a bad way, but you seem like somebody who was not necessarily born into power. How...
Is there a question there, Agent?
I'm curious. I suppose I'm curious. Your ties to Humbor, how you wound up on the Treasury Board. What was your path to this? What does the town mean to you? Why do this job?
I grew up in Humbor. My parents were very poor. When I went to school, I said one day I will make a lot of money. I would say I've made that promise 70%. You don't get rich on the Treasury Board, but you live within your means.
And why the Treasury Board? Why not some other opportunity where you could meet that promise 100%?
I was good with numbers. It was a logical fit. I think that it's obvious that I sought out higher station. Not that the council members are extraordinarily wealthy either.
I was just going to say, it seems like you also have a bent towards public service.
Yes.
You think you'll run again?
I am running again.
When will it be?
It hasn't been confirmed yet. Probably in another month or so.
Will you be vying for an aqueduct?
I will not, no. As I said, I admit that the amount of money raised was impressive. And from what I understand, that money is not going to be revoked, regardless of Mrs. Parim's status. Hopefully we'll put that money to good use. Perhaps a more ambitious version of the aqueduct transfer I proposed. But like I said, I still believe that the aqueduct is ultimately doomed to fail. It's too expensive, requires too much construction, and it requires guarding too much land. There are creatures in the woods. Goblins, not just intelligent ones, other creatures. To keep security for a length that size, for a town of Humbor, which is not a very large town. Foolish.
How far away is the reservoir from here?
A few miles.
I'm curious. Going back to a question that Karakinos had asked, it sounded like much of Ms. Parim's funding was coming from members of the 11th Garrison, a significant amount, but you said that
Ex-members of the 11th
Ex-members, thank you. But you said that you felt her work would still be independent of the Garrison. Why don't you think that that would have any sort of sway if she was getting a massive amount of funding from them?
I think there were other incentives. As I said, some of her donors, I understand, were in the shipping business. They would be given favorable rates on timber and other resources coming out of Humbor. I wouldn't necessarily that gives them undue influence over the town itself.
I see. So you don't think it was one large party that would have had, been holding the purse strings, but there were multiple significant sources.
Even with the amount of money, I believe that the council would push back if they felt that they were being coerced.
Understood.
I wouldn't have been surprised to hear if the 11th Garrison was lined up to guard the aqueduct post-construction, as you said.
I think that would be considered beneath their station to stand guard at an aqueduct.
Sounds like they were much more
Proactive.
violent. Yes, proactive.
Are many other members of the council ex-military? Is that something that comes up often in elections?
It's common, yes. I would estimate 6 out of the remaining 8 have at least some degree of military service, certainly not to the extent of Mrs. Parim. I believe this is my turn up to my house. Anything else?
We appreciate the trust you've put into us.
I appreciate your brevity. Good luck. Heads up the whole path.
My necklace.
No.
Thank you.
Honestly, that went pretty well.
Yes.
He gave us a lot more than I thought we were going to get. We didn't get to ask anything about anything related to the murders.
No, I think we were one bad question away from getting snapped at. So
Yeah.
I think we have a good. I think we need to talk about the garrison.
Yeah.
I think. These...
Why would the garrison, if she won the election, and she's pushing for the aqueduct, which it sounds like ex-members of the garrison were funding, so presumably the garrison itself was pro-aqueduct. Why? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just struggling to find a motive here. Why a month and a half into winning would the garrison suddenly decide we don't want somebody who's on our side, who we're funding, we don't want them in a position of power anymore?
I'm not even supposing that it was the garrison that was responsible, but I do believe questioning them might lead us to different sides of a story that nobody bothered to uncover.
Yes, there was nothing about Goldpike interviewing anybody from the garrison or any of these people who came in from out of town to be at the fundraiser. Everybody that was mentioned that got
That's
interviewed,
true.
that was zoned of truth, they were all local.
Goldpike's a fucking idiot.
Well, Goldpike actually has a very
keep a list of
solid
everybody
record.
that you think is an idiot, because I feel like it's going to prove useful someday.
I don't know how you spend a day in this town without hearing about the 11th garrison. This guy had a month.
Well,
The guy had a month.
We're going to need to figure out how to track down who those people were. Perhaps her husband and Miss Galloway. I think Mr. Parim and Mrs. Galloway would be most likely to know. Or perhaps her aides, just who was providing this money from outside.
I didn't get the sense that Callie was gonna know, but what was the other name's name? Gianni?
yes, Johnny
Was it?
Sherman.
Johnny
yeah.
Sherman.
With her military background, she might have a little bit more information.
Perhaps
The-
we send
Go ahead.
Agent Barrett. Seems like the sort of type
It's the,
just
most,
to speak with.
it's the most military among us.
I wouldn't say that. You know what vibe I'm referring to, right? He's got
Tiefling.
an attitude about it.
He's charming.
Yeah, that.
He's charming.
Do you find him charming?
Not me. Others might.
I find him very charming.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
This is beside the point, guys.
Oh.
This is beside the point.
I see. This is more than just like a general charm. You're struck by him.
I'm not.
He hit you?
The ripping off of the jaw
Oh, I thought you were.
in such a
I didn't know where that sentence
clean
was
way.
going.
That does seem like that could be the garrison's MO.
They would certainly have the
They
expertise.
wouldn't balk at that, right?
Here's the thing: there's the garrison, and there's also ex-garrison. The people who are
Right,
at the
true.
fundraiser would be people who were out of the business. They could, that said, they could still have the means and the inclination.
Again, I think it's still too early to develop any kind of possible motive
Agreed.
for any garrisons, but I
Agreed.
do think just questioning them is.
They're definitely a line that we should be pursuing, unlike Goldpike.
Yeah. And I mean, when I say we question them, I mean Agent Barrett because of his attitude.
If we're talking about people in town that we should try and see quickly, I think Mr. Parim and Mrs. Galloway. I think those two are likely to be the most fruitful.
And I am certain that Agent Barrett and Leyo and Rysynthian have turned up some strong evidence that we can write off of when we reconnect with them.
Speaking of which,
Does anyone?
Killed her!
yeah. Guess been hanging a little bit.
After that interaction with the Craps and hearing Andrew being mentioned, I kind of wanted to leave like pretty quickly, and maybe go sit on the park bench while I wait for my companions.
Okay. So heading outside to that, like the memorial park, or the tables outside
The memorial park.
Sure.
Yeah.
Last thing, I'm looking around, especially the people that I've overheard mention the 11th, or the guy. I don't know, markings, tattoos, do I see anybody have any kind of like...
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 21.
21. A lot of the people have tattoos in here.
Okay.
Nothing on the people in here immediately strikes you. There's some maybe military-looking tattoos. In your experience, a lot of military types get tattoos, including tattoos that are like a kind of brotherhood of like some designer, and none of them have any obvious 11th like symbol, like whether the numbers or things that look like an 11. Like that seems to be maybe not the crowd in here, or certainly not immediately apparent to you.
All right, yeah. Finish up my second beer.
It heads out.
Yeah, wait like 10 minutes after I see him
Just
go.
to make sure.
And then, yeah.
Get outside and
As
was there something?
I'm passing the guys who are on the porch again, I'm just gonna gently. Pardon me. You suggested moments ago that I drink somewhere else. Is there another tavern in town?
There's one at the inn, and then there's one that's even less welcoming than here for people like you.
If I had a death wish, what would it be called?
It'll be called You Didn't Hear It From Me. Have a good day.
I would have. That was bad.
You head around the corner there, and Luca's the first to get there. And you walk over to the park, and you see a plaque on one of the benches as you get there. It says, "In memory of those who fought and died protecting Humbor in its infancy." Sort of generic. It doesn't call out like one specific unit, but clearly a memorial to some of the people who fought sort of to make sure that Humbor was a safe place in the early stages. In this park, there's like 5 to 6 statues kind of spaced out through this modest garden area. It's not a huge little park here. There's nobody here but you at the moment. And the statues, you can tell, are very, very old. Some of them are showing significant signs of wear or certainly discoloration just from sun stain over the years. But the grasses do appear to be kept trimmed at least to a point. Like, they're not just left to grow wild. This park is, you know, a public, cared for to some degree. It's not in the best condition ever, but somebody comes in here and bothers to trim the grasses to make sure that it sort of stays visually up to par.
When I first got here and took that all in, saw the bench. Is the bench relatively clean?
It is.
Okay. While I'm waiting for them, Luca will sit on the bench, and I'm going to begin ritually casting Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay.
I'll wait for it.
Doesn't take too much longer for them to come around, and in that time, you're able to finish ritually casting.
You guys see him finishing up his ritual, a little mumbling, a little whatever. Does it turn up anything?
What is the? Give me the description on that, since we haven't used that yet.
It is, for the duration, up to 10 minutes, you sense the location of poisons, poisonous or venomous creatures, and magical contagions within 30 feet of yourself. You sense the kind of poison, creature, or contagion in each case.
Okay. Nothing from where you can tell. And what's the range on that?
It is... 30.
Dirty feet.
Dirty feet.
It says range. Oh yeah, I see 30 feet. Yeah.
Yep. Nothing that you can.
Same, blocked by 1 foot of stone, dirt, all that stuff. I thought I'd perhaps pick something up in that tavern, and I needed to cleanse myself to put myself at a peace of mind. And also, there's nothing nearby that is diseased.
Did you have reason to suspect that there was?
Oh, well, it was a somewhat clean establishment, but there was an insane amount of brushing up against me that I did not enjoy.
Well, I can see that you both made just as many friends as I did.
2.
Oh.
Don't know their names. But they invited me, per se, to a game of craps later tonight. And they were speaking about Andrew, Deshi's husband.
They talked to you about Andrew?
Well, didn't talk to me. I overheard that he has played craps with them in the recent hours, well, days.
All right.
Yes.
So, I suppose not only going out into the woods, also going to Jeb's.
Are you suggesting that we wait to interact with him until this craps game instead of going to him directly?
No, I think we can go directly, but it's just interesting to know that he's been out. Yeah, not just in the woods.
Right.
And maybe a through line to, if I get closer with these fellas, maybe I can learn a bit more about Andrew and his temperament and what's been going on. I don't know.
He's got a lot of hobbies, this man. Going into the woods.
And crabs.
Crabs.
Yep, a lot of
Craps.
Craps?
It's craps,
Yeah,
not crabs.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
it's
okay,
crabs.
good.
Yeah.
Hello, folks. I'm here to play.
I'm here for the crabs.
I mean, in this bar?
Maybe. Well,
Did you?
unless you somehow enlist in the 11th and serve about 2 to 3 years before tonight, I don't know if you'll get anything out of them.
You've never seen me charm anyone. Maybe I can get it.
No, I haven't. That is correct.
Well, I'm working on you, Barrett. I charmed yet?
What did you find out?
Oh, pass.
Pass.
They were simply not interested in speaking to me. Something about my age, perhaps. Tried to make friendly conversation, wasn't quite successful. Did keep on the lookout for carriages, though, on the street.
I didn't see anything.
With graphic here.
That was amazing.
Didn't see anything.
All right.
Rather uncommon.
Only things I picked up is that this is where Blair tends bar, at least intermittently, and he'll be here tomorrow night.
All right.
I overheard the name Dexter. Does that come up?
Not to my knowledge.
Think so?
Did anything come up while we were looking at some papers at the council building about it?
No.
Definitely with the 11th, and it sounded like maybe even they're at a different tavern, like another establishment with.
Yes, I do believe there are 2 other drinking establishments in town. One of them is at the inn, and the other one, I am unaware currently of its whereabouts, but it seems like a rather rough and tumble place.
Even worse than this one, huh?
Bad to say.
I will send Barrett in for that one, probably.
Great.
You fit the rough and tumble vibe.
Perhaps you could rough and tumble up some folks.
Have I not been kind to everyone that I've met here, including yourselves?
You are
I
rather
didn't say-
kind. Your shirt is just so far down to your waist, I can see the strength that you possess.
Forgive.
That's all I meant.
In any case, I do think it might be worth coming back here tomorrow night. Sounds like you've got a date.
Double date. But just me.
Right.
I got 2 boys.
So, Andrew?
Yes, perhaps we'll meet up with the other 3.
Do you think there's anything worth questioning Skylar, the driver who was supposed to pick up?
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
He told us where he lives, right?
Yes, we could ask him if anybody asked him for information or
All right.
casually mentioned it to anybody.
It has been a sizable amount of time. I wouldn't mind. I'm sure the other 3 have picked up something fantastic for us to stew on.
We've looked around at the statues. I imagine there's references to the 11th.
There are no references to any specific unit.
Okay.
And from the inscription that said, "In memory of those who fought and died protecting Humber in its infancy," this might be a little old, like when Humber, when it was first sort of being established. So whether that predates the 11th, you're not sure, but there's no indications of an actual specific unit on any of the statues.
Is this probably like pre-qualification agreement?
You don't know that.
No idea.
You don't know exactly what number. I mean, you can give me an investigation check if you want to look around the park.
Yeah.
Want to look at the statues?
I'm gonna take out my magnifying glass.
You can.
Yay! You did it.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm looking kind of, there's some benches.
Yeah.
I imagine some of them face towards Buckley's.
Actually, none of them face directly.
Okay.
They all face. So there's one facing directly into the park, and then there's one on this side and this side. So they all look in toward the center. But then there's like a back wall that goes up against another building, and there's no bench on that side. So you wouldn't sit there and look toward Buckley. But if you're sitting at one, it's like off to your left or off to your right.
Okay. And finally, the benches. Let's say I were sleeping one off on the bench. Is it a hard back to where if I'm facing towards the back, my vision is obscured?
It has slats, so you would be partially obscured.
Okay.
But
All right.
yeah, investigation check.
And if possible, would I be able to look around if the bench is saying that in memory of those, yada, if there's more benches or statues that, more benches that will say like, this was a donation from council member, yada yada. You know, or like,
Nothing of that kind.
Okay.
Yep, very vague, sort of just general in memory of.
6.
Were you looking around too?
Just for those like benches and
Okay.
stuff, yeah.
Nothing that jumps out at you.
Unless we can find out which local bums frequent these benches in the middle of the night, I don't know what else we can learn from this spot.
Maybe we can return in a couple hours. Who knows?
Shall we link up then? Head towards the treasury?
Yeah, and then maybe go meet up with Andrew or Skylar or whatnot.
Fantastic. To the treasury.
All
You
right.
can head in that direction. You don't know for sure that you're going to cross paths with them, given how much time has passed.
Yeah.
Right. However, you have a clever device.
Who wants to do it?
Not me.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you look eager. Oh, nope.
You gotta get hold of them.
Agents come in.
No.
It's up to 25 words sent out.
Specific
and then you can,
person, right?
You can pick as many of the people who hold the stones. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the special OEI
Oh,
stones
cool,
that
cool,
you can send it to. You can pick one person, but you can send it to everybody who has one of the stones.
My first 3 words are going to be agents come in.
So if they respond, you have to use
Yeah, it'll be
another
2
use.
charges.
Is the thing. But you can.
You only have 3 per long rest, so this is your first charge.
If you say that, then I'll be
But
like,
you've got
keep talking.
25.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna say 22 more words.
Okay.
But here's the thing: that if you wait for a response, you now have to use another.
No,
use.
yeah, no. It's a monologue.
come in.
It's a monologue.
Agents come in.
Agents come in. We're going to wait for you at the Memorial Park outside of the transport service across from the tavern.
Close enough.
Why did you send it to me?
I send it to everyone.
Yeah. And you didn't turn the light off, so that was one use of yours.
Oh, you bitch.
You gotta hold it.
You have to hold it
you
longer?
fucked it
You
up.
have to hold it down until it's okay.
I'm gonna say received will be right over.
Yes, received. Oh, sorry.
Receive.
Sorry.
Received.
And then what do you do? You hold it down?
You hold it
Yeah,
down
press
until
it.
it turns off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moments later.
These are cool.
I broke it.
You guys are kind of sitting around in the park, and then a couple moments later, the 3 of them come down, stand up to meet each other here.
All right, who did it?
It was Jeb. It was Jeb, and we have
Solid.
a solid
Evidence.
evidence for it.
Really?
Yeah, he owns the tavern right over here.
Well, we don't have. It doesn't look like Jeb was interviewed at all, so it's possible. he
No, it's not Jeb.
He's pulling at the edges of your tunic.
It's not a sexual thing. Again, can we just not use euphemisms for a little bit?
It could be sexual.
See, there's that attitude.
All right, who's Jeb?
Jeb, he owns the tavern right over here.
Okay, and what did we get from Jeb?
Nothing.
Blair works for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friend of roommate of one of the victims.
That's
All right, so that's that tavern.
I was hoping to speak with Blair, but at least according to Jeb, he's not here until tomorrow night.
We also believe we're told that Blair works evenings.
There is also,
Okay.
in the future, should we be looking for unsavory characters, there is another drinking establishment.
Oh, what's it called?
Where is it?
I have no idea.
Foley mightn't even know that.
Yeah.
Unless it's
Foley
a
should.
secret tavern.
Although this tavern did not take very kindly to us outside. It was a very local establishment, and this other one seems even worse than that. So, don't know if we'll find much success there unless
Unless we send Agent Barrett.
Agent Barrett, perhaps.
Yes.
What?
Works for me.
I don't understand the implication.
Fit in with the rough and tumble.
Yeah, it's your attitude.
You don't wear any shoes, mate.
I like to feel the earth between my toes.
Precisely.
That would get you in the door, I think.
What about Buckley's? Did we get any information about that?
So unfortunately, not really.
The answer is no.
Well, did you at least find out about the reservation?
The initial,
She made it herself.
she made it herself in person. There was no anything to cross-examine.
We do have the name and location of the driver who was supposed to pick her up, who would have known the exact time it was set for.
Well, that's
we could
not
speak
nothing.
with him.
the initial drop-off, and she made that reservation was 2 days prior at 2300 hours.
Okay.
There were 5.
I believe that the appointment to be picked up was 2300 hours.
Yes.
She didn't come in at 2300.
Oh,
Okay.
understood. Okay, thank you for that.
And 2300 was written down in a book, so in theory, anyone who could get behind the desk at the transportation service could have seen that number.
That means there wasn't a long window of time for if somebody was to bamboozle her, if she was abducted, there wasn't a long period of time for them to be able to do it. If she only went in 2 days before the fundraiser,
To discover what time the
to figure out,
rescheduled carriage should be arriving.
and then to plan the abduction, they
If
would have had
she-
a very short
I
window.
see your
1 day.
attitude is just not improving. If she made it 2 days prior, then only those 2 days are the amount of time that somebody could discover it, develop their plan, and change it with the phony carriage. That's what he's proposing. That's what he means.
So we're looking at someone who had easy access to a carriage.
And what we do know is at the day of, 3 carriages were running on a larger schedule outside of Humber, but 5 carriages were being used throughout that day. Not necessarily in the evening, though.
This is the day of the fundraiser.
Day of the fundraiser. We did get one name of Skylar Whitaker. He was the one who was supposed to pick up Deshi before she canceled. We know where he is. We could question him, see what we can get out of him.
So 3 carriages were not in use that day.
They were outside of Humber.
Further out,
Yeah.
5 were within Humber.
Yes, but
And-
at any point throughout the day.
Yes, throughout the day, maybe only 2 or 3 at the time.
I mean,
And he has
definitely
8
one
in total?
Is 8 in total. There's one of them that it was a last minute driving from a tavern. People were drunk. I can only assume unless they were heavy day drinking. That was an evening one, so that rules out
Okay.
week 4.
We can assume that they're anywhere between 1 and 5 carriages not in use at the time she was picked up.
They would have had to get a carriage from there. If they were to take one of Buckley's carriages, they would have had to set it up with the horse, take it out, do whatever they were doing with Deshi, and put everything back before anybody arrived in the morning.
Well, that would have
Logically,
been
yeah, go ahead.
no, please.
Then they would have been on a late night pickup, and they would have dropped the person off and then headed to the fundraiser. So we're looking for someone who was working late and was dropping off to a location that wasn't unreasonably far from the fundraiser. They had to get to the fundraiser by 11 o'clock.
Yes.
So it's a pretty limited window.
And perhaps Skylar would know what some of his coworkers were up to that night, especially if he got canceled on.
Did you get the working hours of Buckley's? I mean, how late is Buckley there? How early does Buckley arrive?
Buckley gets there pretty early, is what he said. Before most anyone else in the neighborhood. As far as closing, it seems like maybe the establishment closes in the evening, but if there's wagons out, they are free to do their business and then return the wagons.
The drivers that have assignments have access.
Certainly to the corral and stuff. Like the building itself might get locked up, but yes, the people.
It would
The
have-
reason I'm sorry.
No, it would have to be. If it was one of Buckley's carriages, if he arrives that early, they could not have taken Deshi very far. They would have had if they went out of the town, they would have had to have been able to get out
Within a
there,
few hours.
take her somewhere, get back, in order to not be discovered.
Well, they had, let's say, from 11 to 5 a.m.
Till
perhaps
sunup,
6
yeah.
hours. We don't know exactly when Buckley gets there. If we knew when Buckley leaves, that would be helpful because let's say Buckley leaves at 9 p.m. If there was a driver that was out, maybe had a 7 p.m. Pickup, and they were expected back by 8:30, that would arouse suspicion if Buckley was there at 9 and that driver hadn't come back yet. So if we can learn when Buckley is supposed to leave, it could narrow down the window. We're looking for someone who was out in the evening and was not expected back before Buckley left.
May I make a suggestion? Well, we're in the neighborhood. Do we want to just sit and wait and see when he leaves?
When I said to wait for the dignity,
6:30.
Okay.
Why don't you like waiting?
no, I do like waiting
Patience is an
sometimes.
important virtue.
I like waiting sometimes.
I mean, it could be nice. This is a nice park. We can sit and keep talking and corralling our ideas together.
We
and
could just
then-
ask him.
Well, yes, but he could lie.
And also, we took up a sizable amount of his time today. If we can re-talk to him tomorrow, I would say, but it might be abrasive if we keep running into him.
He also was under the zone of truth as well, so...
He did get zoned originally.
It seems extremely unlikely that he would be willingly...
I don't think he's lying. I think it's just if we can learn when Buckley leaves and when Buckley typically gets back in, it narrows the window. I got a weird accent.
Old man hole.
Close them windows.
Yeah.
It narrows the window when a driver
Is unsupervised.
could have been. It was unsupervised. That's a much faster way of putting it.
If there are,
Thank you, Deedee.
if we're going to look into the 5 carriages that could have been around town that night, I would also like to find out which members of the inner circle at the end of the party were wealthy enough to also have carriages of their own.
In case this wasn't Buckley's carriage.
Yes.
I mean, that is true. We don't know exactly who was at that meeting.
Speaking of the inner circle, what we discovered, a lot of the major donors that were at that fundraiser were from out of town. They were ex-11th Garrison friends of Deshi who had become successful after leaving the military.
Were successful
If
enough
that
to
is-
have traveled into town on their own carriages.
And funded the aqueduct.
This is the thing. They would not have been ordering carriages from Buckley because they were not going... Well, unless he was picking them up at 11 and then traveling out of town at that
They
time.
would have their own.
Very likely they were either staying at Galloway's overnight or... Yes, they could have all just had their own carriages.
I find that to be the most likely.
It doesn't sound like Buckley was overwhelmed by orders the night of the fundraiser. He had 8
seem
carriages
hectic,
and
yeah.
they weren't all in use.
This would be a great question for Miss Galloway. How many of her guests needed
Their own carriage?
yes.
I do have some questions for her that might help out. I also
just so you guys are like you had asked, but like getting to be 6:30, 7 p.m. at this point, so just you have more days, obviously, but like it's getting dark in terms of like a daytime activity. If there was something you want to make sure you still had time for.
I guess looking over at Buckley's, is the door still wide open?
Yep, he's still there as far as you can tell. You haven't seen him leave.
I doubt Buckley would lie about when he generally leaves. I don't know why that would be something he would hide.
I don't mind staying here for another hour or two and seeing when he leaves. I can't imagine it'll be much longer from now.
Do we think Andrew will be okay? I do want to talk to him today. I feel like that's of importance. Would he be okay with us dropping by, maybe?
He does go into the woods and/or playing craps at night.
We
right?
don't
Yeah.
need...
Those are the only two things that he would ever
Those are sort of his hobby hours.
He's booked. He's fully booked.
Those are a bit of
To
his
me,
frolicking times.
to me, what time he leaves is not such an incredible piece of information that I would like to have, especially all of us, wait for an hour when we could be investigating, finding out other things. I don't understand why we don't just ask him.
Go ahead. Go ask him what time
I guess
he
he
closes.
doesn't know.
Don't tell him where he's... don't
Hold
tell him
on.
where he's-
Actually, I don't know. It feels overwhelming presence of OEI officers all of a sudden coming in with questions and questions. I don't want to unnerve anyone just on our first day. We can take some time.
So why don't we go talk to Andrew, right? I think on principle, we shouldn't spend an overnight here without talking to her husband. That feels
I have a lot of questions.
wrong to me to do that.
Karakinos, would you like to wander in and ask what time he closes
No.
without displaying your...
I agree somehow with Luca that yes.
Somehow.
I do not think we should accost him again today.
Could also just ask him tomorrow. I don't think anything is going to happen tonight that is going to depend on when he leaves his establishment.
Agreed. Let's
We're looking to ask Andrew. He might know when he closes if we go talk to him.
let's have a chat with Andrew. We can come back here tomorrow and ask him some more questions, and then we're not overburdening him.
Will all 6 of us be speaking with this gentleman, or should we split up? Are there other things?
All 6 feels right to me.
It's an important part of this investigation. I would say that if we have all of our minds together.
To show that we mean business, if he really is out there looking for her, we are too.
Perhaps we could offer to help him look, go out on one of the trips and have him show us what the forest is like.
To the Pareens!
Right.
Moments later.
Yeah, he was close by.
Have so close.
That took like 5 seconds.
The Bream residence is fairly unremarkable for someone who you know is a sitting council member, although relatively recently that's been a development. But her humble accommodations and lifestyle were likely some part of her appeal to the prospective voters, that she didn't feel kind of above them. It's a stout 2-story house with a yard that features remnants of what are probably some of Deshi's hobbies, maybe Andrew as well. There's a little archery range, and by range, like literally like a straw target and some things. There's some training dummies, and there's a strung up burlap sack that looks like it functions as like a punching bag, so they're all out in the yard there. On the building's exterior, there's a couple of hanging flags, which you might guess relate to her military service. They don't have that symbol that you saw, but they have similar colors to the sort of, it wasn't really a scarf, but like the banner that had been draped over the wall at the cemetery. Some of the same colors, it's like a red and a dark green. A red and a dark green. Her husband's outside when you arrive. There's a lantern hanging that's illuminating a small covered area, almost like a little kind of open shed, where a workbench and various carpentry tools are scattered about. Saws, hammers, chisels, clamps, more. He's a well-built human man, tanned skin and very short cropped hair, and he has some very unkempt and even a little uneven facial hair. It gives you the impression that typically he shaves, but because he's been a little preoccupied, that he's let that go a little bit. He sees you coming and he dusts off his hands and moves to greet you, and he comes at you with sort of a polite demeanor, but also a little bit of a terse. You can sense right away that the way that you're kind of walking as a group of 6, he might already suspect what you might be there relating to. And you can sense on him a little bit of palpable disdain, just not at you, just that the OEI failed to find something the last time they were here. His body language is that of someone who is physically and mentally exhausted. But he tries to hold his head kind of up high in your presence. A little bit of sweat glistening on his brow, and he wipes his hands with a damp cloth. It looks like some grime had kind of built up on his palms from whatever he's sort of working on at the workbench there. And he stands up to meet you.
Matt, could I have cast Enhanced Ability on myself just before this, boosting my wisdom?
Yes.
Cool.
After Goldpike left, it felt like the next time a detective came to see me, it would either be because they had very good news or very bad news. So?
Maybe we can surprise you. I have middling news.
What can I do for you?
Here, take a look at this. We all have, these badges here.
It's upside down.
Ah, shoot. My bad. This is it. We are from a important new unit that was formed by the OEI called the Inactive Missing Persons. We're here to help in ways that Goldpike couldn't on his own. They put the 6 of us together to help.
Why did they put Goldpike on the case if he couldn't do it?
Every investigator has their own mind and way of doing things. And that's why it's important that they send our unit out of maybe the way Goldpike's mind works was not fit for this investigation.
Comforting.
But that's what we're here for.
It may not mean much, but we are a new and focused unit. And I tell you truthfully, when given our options, we looked through, heard your story, Deshi's story, and we said, we can do something. This is priority. This is the first case we have taken on as a specialized unit.
With advantage.
Nice.
Persuasion.
15.
What do you need to know?
We have a lot of questions for you. Some of them are going to be repetitive. We
Fine.
would appreciate your full cooperation. We wouldn't ask if they weren't important for us to know or get repeat answers to.
You have it. What do you need?
Let's start with the time that Deshi was expected home, the night of the fundraiser.
Midnight, maybe? I got the impression she was leaving around 11. But Allie's an old friend. It wouldn't have surprised me that she stayed later, and it didn't surprise me.
It was only the next morning that I grew concerned.
And what time did you report her missing the next morning?
Probably a little before noon. When I went to the command office, they thought that was ridiculous. It wasn't very long that she had been missing.
Was it often that she might have stayed at Miss Galloway's or any other place that, for you not to be as concerned the night of that she didn't return? Was that a normal thing for her?
Sometimes she'll go to alleys and have a few. Sometimes she'll crash.
I see.
I wouldn't call it common, but I wouldn't call it unheard of.
Have you joined her in those nights?
Once or twice.
Were you ever planning on going to the fundraiser?
No. It's not really my scene, and Dee knows it. I didn't attend a lot of the events leading up to the election. I don't know, one or two of the public forum debates I went to. Even if I'd wanted to go, which I didn't, I had some projects I was working on, so I was busy.
How did you feel about the fact that she was running for council? It's quite a big change.
Yeah, I encouraged her to do it.
Do you know what motivated her to do this?
There was a period after Dee had retired where she was helping me oversee my timber claim. And she just... It wasn't for her. Do you know any military types?
Been around a couple, just working at the OAI, you get some crossover.
Yeah. Well, she was restless. She was used to seeing a little more action. I mean, we weren't fighting about it, but I could tell that she was unsatisfied. She was actually thinking about working for Ellie, going into the mountains together. I don't know, whatever it is that she gets. And then it was me, my suggestion that she get involved in public service. It felt like something that would keep her involved, keep her active. A couple of her old buddies from the 11th, they went on to run for office in some of the other nearby towns. She thought it was a good idea.
We understand that evening at the fundraiser, after the majority of people left, there was a meeting of the inner circle. Is that an inner circle of locals or of ex-garrison or?
Mix, I think.
Mix.
I didn't get all the names. She said that some people were coming into town that were 11th, that had come to make substantial donations. A couple of the others might have just been locals who were also making donations. Again, better questions for Allie.
All right.
I don't get involved in all of the fundraising politics.
When you say it wasn't really your crowd, is that more the fundraising and politics part of it, or the 11th Garrison part?
The fundraising and politics. No problem with the 11th. The opposite. I've done work for them.
Was she often in correspondence with her friends from the garrison that had retired?
Sure. Some of them wrote her. She wrote some of them.
How about active members of the garrison?
Maybe. Yes.
Maybe or yes?
I don't know. She didn't tell me every time she wrote a letter.
But definitely ex-members she was in contact with.
Sure, a couple of them went to the fundraiser, so yes.
Was there a particular reason she retired? Or just ready to be done?
I think just felt she'd put in her time. She saw some of her friends going off to do other things. She felt it was time for her to do the same.
You met her while she was in the military, yes?
Yes, while she was still in active service. The 11th had commissioned some watchtowers, special watchtowers. I mean, the 11th has people that can build a crow's nest on their own, but these outposts, they needed special defenses. They were deep in vulture territory, and Dee was one of the scouts who would be occupying one of these watchtowers. So we spent a lot of time together planning the defenses, you know. She would tell me what kind of traps or escape routes that a soldier might need to get out of danger quickly if need be. And I would try to design something that fit what she had in mind.
What did you think of her when you first met her?
I thought she was very driven. I thought she was very focused.
Were those traps all mechanical or were they arcane in nature at times?
If they were, that wasn't my doing. My designs are all mechanical. If they augmented them with something else, I don't know.
Traps for animals, humanoids, goblins.
Yeah, goblins maybe. Like I said, vulture territory, so that too.
Were you familiar with the other 5 victims, any of them?
I mean, I knew some of their names, sure. Quinby, Smithy. I'd worked with him just in the sense of him buying things from me buying things from him.
Sir, you mentioned that Deshi was in correspondence with a lot of her fellow garrison members. That was via letter.
Usually.
Those were never mentioned in our case file. Would we be able to see any of those letters just to glean more insight into the garrison and the relationships?
You can. I handed those over to Goldpike. He took a look at them. You're welcome to do the same.
Might I inquire about... Did Miss Purim, before the fundraiser, talk to you about her carriage schedule?
I knew she was getting picked up.
Did she talk to you about originally setting up a carriage and then that maybe being canceled later on?
Well, I found that out later.
But it was never something that you guys spoke about personally.
As far as she knew, she was getting picked up by Buckley's.
All right.
She didn't tell me otherwise because I don't know that she knew otherwise.
Okay.
We understand you've been continuing the search to some degree. Is that true?
I have been.
How has that been going?
I haven't found anything, obviously.
And where have you been looking?
Mostly in the woods, on the path between the fundraiser and here. There's a road that runs along the edge. Might have been the logical choice for the carriage, at least for a time. There's some lowlands there where there's mud pits, quicksand. I go down there, and I spend a few hours at each pit, sticking a wooden stick as far down as I can, and feeling if I feel anything at the bottom.
Would you possibly allow us to join you at some point to help us understand a lay of the land and assist in the efforts?
Sure.
We have access to magic that may help aid in the search in ways that perhaps you haven't had access to before.
That's fine. Goldpike did the same.
He came with you to this area.
Not with me, but he went on his own with his, other agent that was with him, some of the local commanders.
I wonder if they went as far as to, an object, a spell like locate magic is blocked pretty easily by mud, dirt, whatever. I wonder if they went so far as to tie a rope around one another and delve into that mud pit to get pulled out, to get a few more feet. There might be some extra circumstances we could push.
Fine. If you see a pit that has a little... He sort of walks back over to his workbench, and he picks up, it's as if you took a branch of a tree and sliced a, thin slice of it, and he sort of holds one up, and it looks like he just took a paintbrush and, put a bit of paint on it. If you see one of these nailed to a tree nearby, it means I already looked there.
Mm-hmm.
We have in our notes that Goldpike looked for cloak and a rapier.
Yeah.
Was Deshi wearing anything else of note at the fundraiser? Particular ring?
She would have had a ring that I gave her, yeah. But I was told by the agents that they weren't able to look for a specific ring.
Anything else of note on her?
She had other jewelry when she left. Earrings, a necklace. She was trying to make a good appearance.
Did you take any sort of ledger book to keep track of donations that night?
Not that I saw. That might have been the duty of one of her aides, or even Allie. I don't know.
How, after she won the election, how did you feel it had been going?
Good.
She seemed to enjoy it?
I was happy for her. She seemed motivated. A lot of people doubted her ability to get the aqueduct project off the ground. She was eager to prove them wrong.
And how do you personally feel about the aqueduct project?
I think it's ambitious, but I believe in her.
Sir, we've heard several times that we're following the footsteps of Goldpike. Is there anything he didn't do? Something that lingered in your mind? Something you suggested and he didn't follow up on?
I don't know.
All right.
What are your thoughts on Deshi's 2 8s? Gianni and Callie?
I mean, Callie I know better than Gianni. Gianni I think served with, or had some overlap in service with Deshi. Callie's nice. She makes furniture in town, or she did.
Do you own any furniture that was made by Callie?
No.
You supplied her with the timber for it?
Yes, often. We had a good business relationship.
When was the last time you saw Callie or Johnny?
Callie has come by a couple times in the aftermath. Not Gianni so much. She probably gets drunk.
Is she known for that, sir?
I've seen her get drunk a couple times.
Where does she do this?
Same place all the 11th does.
Would you care to share?
There's a bar called Sud, Sweat, and Tears. It's not 11th only, but it is veterans only.
I understand this might be a tall order. We have gone around the city a bit today, but haven't had the chance to really investigate the 11th garrison. And understandably, that's a very, it's a tall order to get your foot in the door. Would it be possible with your history with them to help us get our foot in the door?
I can say something to someone, but even I'm not allowed in the bar. I didn't serve in the 11th.
I see. And aside from this bar, and even here in Humber, is there a close encampment nearby, a day's travel or a half a day's travel where most of them are?
I think their current battlement is, I don't know, a little over a day to the northeast.
Okay. Towards the reservoir, perhaps.
Past the reservoir. Yeah.
Past the reservoir.
Certainly further than that.
Is there a Dexter in the 11th garrison that you know?
Maybe. It sounds familiar, but not a friend of mine. Not someone that I heard Deshi talk about. Why? Who is that?
I'm not sure.
I pointed the finger at a lot of people in the wake of Deshi's disappearance. Many of which I've since apologized for. It's easy to convince yourself that anybody isn't a suspect if you're angry enough. Most of my accusations were names that I'm sure you read already. Allie, Buckley, the other candidates. And I mean, it's a good thing that they got to that asshole at the fundraiser before I heard about it, because I probably would have beat on him.
I guess you're connecting to that. You're talking about Santos.
Yeah.
Was it out of character for Deshi to allow him to stay at the fundraiser after raising such a ruckus?
Out of character? She didn't like when people felt like they knew what she was gonna do. She liked being unpredictable. She also was making an effort after the election to extend a hand. Not to this Santos guy, but I know she invited the other candidates to the fundraiser.
Right.
I don't think any of them accepted.
And you mentioned slightly earlier Miss Galloway and her herbalistic tendencies and how she used to go into the mountains to collect rare specimens, plants, etc.
I don't think she's an herbalist herself. She just would get the things.
Get the things.
And sell them.
You're not super familiar with the types of things that she would gather, with the types of flowers, the names that... Did that ever stick out to you?
Something about some alchemical ingredients that were very expensive.
All right.
That's how she made her fortune.
I see.
Is there a local alchemist?
No. She would sell them in Nakota mostly.
Is there, this may just... I'm just grasping the things I've heard throughout the day. There was mention of wine at the fundraiser. And is there a specific, perhaps, vineyard that Aliastra likes to buy from, or a close partner?
She gets her stuff from a number of places, I think.
A number of places.
She's has a taste for wine.
All right.
They looked into that, by the way.
About
Wine at the event.
All right. All right. Thank you.
They investigated to see if it was tampered with in any way.
Yes.
When you were making accusations, when you became aware of what happened, what was the first thing that jumps into your mind about why somebody would have done this? What made you think that any person would be behind it?
It was the election. And there was a lot of bad words thrown around. I always felt like Jome seemed like a bit of a snake. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling.
What about this, Thistle, the fellow who, perhaps lied about his own past?
Yeah. He seemed like an idiot. But, I don't know, harmless mostly. It seemed like people had seen him. I mean, he lives in town, not like some of the other people that live around the outskirts. People had seen Thistle that night, walking through the streets at a bar. I don't know. Seemed like he wasn't a serious suspect. He wasn't the first person that jumped out to me.
Not in that I doubt her loyalty at all. But I cannot take my mind off of this garrison. Is there some way to run afoul of them, even without intending to? I've seen a lot of fingers pointed. I've seen that a lot of things were questioned, a lot of motives. I feel like the garrison is a blind spot for everybody involved, maybe even Deshi herself.
That would have to be some blind spot. From everything that I saw, Deshi was still on excellent terms with anyone she knew from the garrison.
Nothing, no correspondence, no look in her eye when she last met with somebody in the days, weeks leading up.
No. Feel like you'd be more likely to find someone who's had some reason to dislike the garrison than you would to have someone within the garrison dislike Deshi. She was a popular figure.
And were you aware of certain deals that were being made, trade deals in negotiation with money that was being donated to the aqueduct?
Yeah, she said she was calling on some old friends. She thought that was a good way to get the aqueduct moving faster than people thought it was going to.
Did that gather any, not necessarily bad press, but was anybody upset at her using those tactics to gather money, or did nobody really say anything about it?
I think people were happy to see it in motion. Again, she felt like she was proving a lot of people wrong who said it would be an endless slog, that it would never get off the ground.
Maybe she overpromised.
Maybe. I don't know.
It sounded like all the deals that she was making were above board. It was nothing, it was all just trade, right? There was nothing suggested there that would be...
She didn't tell me, and I would tell you if it meant finding her. But she didn't tell me that she had any plans to make a underhanded backroom agreement with one of these people that would
undermine the council. And again, I would tell you if it meant finding her.
Does that seem true?
Give me an insight.
Bing bong for your ding dong.
What does that
Wisdom,
mean?
right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that did not help me at all. It's a 5 and a 6, so 6 plus 7 is 13.
13. Nothing that you glean from that.
Can I also? I don't know.
I
was just like,
No.
totally fine.
He was sort of
I'll ask him.
addressing Deedee a little bit.
Looking around you said that we saw a lot of the tools out, a lot of like projects and the like. Does it seem like there is any kind of crafting project that is in process if there's tools around and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like he had like branches on his workbench and like a saw out, like to make those little discs that he was making to put in the woods. That seemed like what he was in the middle of doing when you guys got here.
Okay.
Sir, if Deshi was ever coming home at some point and she saw somebody that was in distress, either from a creature or something else, would she rise up to the threat? She seems like a pretty substantial warrior.
Unless she thought it was something she couldn't deal with. I would trust Deshi's ability to assess a threat, certainly.
Or at least a physical one.
Yes.
How did Deshi like to fight?
I'm not sure what that means.
When she fought in the garrison, was she using magic? Was she...
No magic.
What was her preferred weapon? Rapier or anything else?
Yes.
You said she was a scout on a watchtower? She used arrows?
She was proficient in a number of weapons. You can see evidence of that around here. She had a rapier on her most of the time, but that wasn't something that she used in the military. I don't think that was mostly a decorative weapon.
Do you know what she did use in the military?
Anything and everything. She could shoot a bow. She knew how to work a crossbow. Proficient in long swords, short swords, blunt weapons. Certainly never saw a weapon Deshi pick up that she couldn't use.
And did she get rusty in the 4 or 5 years after retiring from the garrison?
I wouldn't know how to evaluate that. She certainly practiced.
Often?
Yes. As much as one can practice with the small means that we have here.
Did you notice anything go missing around the time of the disappearance? Any of the tools, perhaps?
No.
Was Deshi a heavy drinker? At a party, would she get drunk?
Sure. Yeah. I wouldn't say that she drank often, but sometimes when she drank, yeah. I would say that that's not uncommon for those who've seen the front lines.
Especially on a night as successful as that fundraiser, maybe a bit of a celebration.
I think when I first was realizing that she wasn't coming home that night, I actually thought that that was a good sign. That they had raised so much money that they were celebrating afterward.
Right.
Obviously, I was wrong.
Andrew, I understand that the fundraiser's not your scene. But it was a massive celebration for your wife.
Yes.
It does seem odd to me that you wouldn't put up with it for at least a few hours. After pushing her into politics, supporting her all this way, her first big fundraiser, you couldn't be bothered to show up for the first hour or so?
Is that your question to me,
It
Agent?
is.
Whether I could be bothered or not.
I don't think you would respect me as an agent if I wasn't investigating you with as much thoroughness as I would investigate another suspect. I don't think you would want me on the case if I wasn't asking you tough questions. I'm not here to coddle you in an interview.
I had projects I was working on, as I said.
And they took precedence over this big celebration that she was having.
It's a fundraiser.
It's a massive fundraiser. She raised 10,000 to 20,000 gold.
None of it with my help.
Did that bother you?
No.
Did she ask you to come?
She invited me. But no, she didn't.
What were the projects that you were doing? You work the timber lease now, but what are you still creating and crafting on the side?
Some of the town's defenses I'm contracted. There was a fence repair project. Some of the outer dwellings, animals come in from the woods. There's some fences that have spikes and other small physical traps just to dissuade them. I mean, it's nothing that would keep an owlbear from stampeding through, but enough to keep foxes off your property.
Could you perhaps tell us a little bit more about Quinby? Seems he was one of the only victims that you knew on a day-to-day. Was he someone that, quite stout working a smithy, he, when found, was the only victim that separated himself from the other four? Did he know his way around a fight?
Quinby wasn't a friend of mine, but from looking at him, yeah, he looked like a man who could handle himself.
All right. Is there anyone in town, perhaps a ranger, or someone who has an animal companion, or someone well known within the Garrison 11 who is known for an animal companion, anything like that?
Within the 11th, I'm not the person to ask.
Oh.
There's people that train, raise animals. What are you looking for?
Hawks, honestly, grasping at straws for something that can make a laceration. If someone such as Tyler could put up a fight against this murderer and then needed to call upon a companion, that's what I'm looking for.
We don't have a local falconer.
All right.
We get cockatrices coming in from the woods sometimes.
Is there anyone trained in magic, higher level magics here in Humber?
No.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
How much of Deshi were you seeing after her election, leading up to the fundraiser? Were you two very close? Did you spend hours of time together? Was she out having to do a lot of, I guess, getting caught up on the new job?
Sure, she was at home less than she was before the election, or before she started running. But I'd still see her plenty. She still came home at night when she wasn't staying in alleys.
And did she talk to you about her work?
Yeah, sometimes.
Did she seem nervous about the new responsibilities? Or excited?
I don't know that Deshi gets nervous. But yeah, she was excited. Like I said, never missed a chance to prove people wrong.
I believe we've taken up enough of your time, sir. Thank you for bearing with us while we get oriented on her case.
It's fine. If you think of anything else, you can ask me.
All right.
During the day, I'm mostly out in the woods.
If you need to contact us about anything, you can tell Major Foley and he can get a hold of us.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Can I linger behind for a second? As I turn around.
Thank you.
When he sees people turning, he turns back to his workbench and he starts to kind of saw a couple more of those little discs there.
I just wanted to say, sir, this is a very difficult time you must be going through. Do you have a place you've been going or friends you've been speaking to through this, in addition to your dedicated searching that you've been doing?
Occasionally, I'll go to Jeb's for a drink.
Right.
If I feel like I can't walk through the woods a step longer.
Take care of yourself.
Thanks.
I find myself profoundly depressed. We didn't learn anything.
We had some
Well-
answers confirmed.
She is an unpredictable woman who likes to prove people wrong. I did think that that was an interesting thing that I was not previously aware of.
We learned she was a scout. things like picking up details, things like navigating through the woods, I'd be very surprised if she fell into quicksand.
You can be tossed into quicksand if you've been drugged or taken by surprise because you think that you hired someone.
Or if you're blackout drunk.
I just don't understand why... If the goal was to kill her, why not leave her out to be discovered like the rest?
I don't know about everybody else, but I'm getting a little sick of hearing that we're doing the exact same things that another agent has done. What if we...
Step outside the box.
Yes. Eliminate the obvious. Eliminate the noise. There's gotta be something that hasn't been uncovered.
I can think of one place of interest that... Well, I can think of two places of interest.
Hit me with them.
11th Garrison.
Yep.
Reservoir. As far as I can tell, he never went up there. If this is really tied to the aqueduct, my assumption would be that the reason you would want to stop it, the reason it would be so important that you would take these major risks, murder people, is that there is something about the reservoir that you did not want people to discover. If currently no town is making use of it, then perhaps somebody is using it without anybody being aware.
You mean like some kind of hermit is hanging out at the aqueduct?
Or a gang of hermits.
Or a gang of hermits.
If there were some sort of smuggling ring, if there was something illicit going on that people would not want to have discovered, if there was an aqueduct feeding directly into it, they would no longer be able to use that as a base of operations. That said, I have no evidence actually pointing that way. That's simply, I'm just trying to think of motives.
Also, there's correspondence between 11th Garrison and our missing person. Why don't we have those materials? Those are more things that you can compare your...
He said that they were handed over.
Yes, why don't we have them?
I think Goldpike looked at them, determined they were unhelpful or unimportant, and put them back, was my understanding. He said you could have a look at them, so he still has them.
Oh, I figured he meant they're in evidence.
I assumed
Foley
Goldpike
might have them.
I would say just clarify the implication. The implication was that Andrew has them.
Fuck!
But they gave them back. He said you could look at them if you wanted to, but he said that he handed them over to Goldpike so he could look at them.
We forgot to ask
I
for
thought
that.
that they got
We'll cross paths with him again.
I could also go... I mean, we're not far. I could just go back and ask.
We'll cross paths with him again, I'm sure.
I think we also can learn a bit from talking to Aliastra. I think that's one person we haven't talked to yet that also very important was there the night of. We can figure out who was in that ring, who from the garrison was in that ring, what Deshi looked like when that carriage arrived.
To Bete's point, that is somebody who has been thoroughly questioned.
I understand the idea of being frustrated at being told that we're doing the same thing another agent did, but reminder, we've only been here for 4 hours.
Yes, and we only have 6 more days.
That's 6 more days. It's okay to follow the steps to fully understand our positions here. And then in the next 6 days, realize we followed in those footsteps, and now since we know the basics, we can expand. We're not in a huge rush, and I think we're doing okay.
I think the one reason I would like to speak to Ali, to agree with you, Agent, is that I want that list of inner circle names. Names that were probably not thoroughly looked at previously.
At least not zone of truth. People.
To aim our direction to the garrison, just to get the list of the names of the ex-folks who were there, and then use that as a way in.
If we would like to make sure we don't just repeat footsteps, we could also send to Goldpike and ask for some information. We could ask him if he has the names of the people who are at the inner circle.
Certainly.
If he already has that, he could just give them to us now.
I don't know if it's a good look for us on day 2 to be reaching out for help to the previous agent.
I think there's never any concern to reach out for help at all.
I don't know that it's help. I think it's that his report was not very thorough.
Well, then we might benefit from trying to get that information ourselves first.
I mean...
Versus reaching out to him to get a list that might not be very thorough.
Well, how many charges have we used of these sending stones?
Barely any.
If they refresh daily, then why not just use it?
We're already getting close to the end of the day. I don't think it is... It's simply asking for more material.
I don't see the harm in doing both.
I don't think it's a great look to reach out to the previous agent who is probably busy on another case. But if the rest of the group agrees, I'm certainly not going to hold us back. But I'd like to...
I'm not concerned about looking good. I'm concerned about getting the most information possible.
So just to clarify one thing, the sending stones send to other people who have the sending stones that are linked to each other.
We got to go through Eugene and then... Or is
So
it just us
we can't
alone?
reach back to
Eugene, you can, yep, and you could ask him to ask somebody. Alternatively, if someone has the sending spell, certainly you've crossed paths with Gold.
Okay, so we could. So
I
we,
see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we couldn't do Gold Pike with
Directly with the ones
Directly,
you have.
we'd have to
currently.
go through...
Yep.
But we could.
I can send to.
We could ask Eugene to track it down for us though,
Yep.
and then just send it to us.
I am interested in confirming Buckley's hours. I also had the thought, did anyone look inside the wagons?
It was 2 months ago.
It was 2 months ago, but if I was Deshi and I was in a wagon that was headed in the wrong direction, I would have tried to do something to that wagon. I've got a rapier on me, carve something, make some indication on the seat that could be of note if people were checking. I certainly wouldn't have just sat there for the duration of the ride.
As part of your guys' investigation checks, I would say you looked inside. Like, again, your rolls weren't, like, done, like super high, but, like, you definitely looked inside, at least at a glance.
We got to look at not all 8, but about half of the fleet, and didn't see anything.
Nothing underneath, nothing inside, but it could benefit from a fresh pair of eyes.
We could pester, blah, blah.
Buckley.
blah,
blah, blah.
blah, blah.
Well, if we
For
went...
another look at the other 4.
If we
but
went back tomorrow to confirm his hours, get a little bit of a tighter timeline, maybe check the wagons real quick, but I generally agree with Bete that retracing old steps, I think we want to move off that path as quickly as possible while still being thorough.
I do like the idea of, while this early on in the investigation, maybe taking a day to head up to the reservoir if that's going to be a longer thing. I don't know.
So shall we speak with Allie, get information on this list of names, stew on that, and head up to the reservoir?
Maybe we split up. Maybe half does Buckley, half does Allie. That way we can...
Buckley,
Oh, you're talking about now, tonight. Oh.
Well, I'm just speaking in a general sense of our next steps. If we want to go in directions that people have not gone in yet, we want to go garrison, we want to go to the reservoir, but we don't have a way into investigating the garrison at the moment, other than figuring out who the people were who were at that inner circle late night meeting, who were coming into town, who might have carriages.
Mostly be retired garrison, not current garrison.
I think it's a good starting point, though, no? To understand who was there, who might have come into town with money to have their own horse and carriage.
I agree, it's worth talking to Allie at some point.
Who would have known her schedule again, what time she was leaving.
Do we want to do that tonight, or do we want to do that first thing tomorrow morning? If it was tomorrow morning, I would say then let's split up. Let's some circle back with Buckley and just knock that out of the way. Let's some go check in with Allie.
It seems like a quick stop to me.
We could try Skylar tonight as well.
Yes.
My suggestion would be to cross off any final T's of questioning this evening so that maybe first thing tomorrow morning we make our way to whatever further destination we have.
Agreed.
Yes, there's no reason. There's no reason to just waste the rest of the evening. We should talk to people if we can get them.
So maybe a split up for
What's the
Allie and
matter?
Skylar.
I just remembered,
What?
none of us can get into that other bar
Precisely why
without
We could ask
a
John.
big fat lie.
Mrs. Galloway could get into that bar.
I could attempt to, sneak in.
There's always that option, but if there's failure, then we are supremely screwed.
Wait, why is entering the bar essential? What are we?
The bar that's associated with the 11th garrison.
Yeah. If we're heading to the garrison,
I don't know if it's
We need to go to a bar.
essential, but any extra bit of anything Especially if it's definitely a place Goldpike hadn't visited, and we could glean something. It's
So
just
your point, it would be uncharted territory.
It's just another direction that may end up in something, just opening up a possibility. But it is dangerous.
Okay, but we can't go in there.
Am I crazy? Or did I not say it with Andrew that this garrison is this blind spot for everybody?
I think his what was his response? He said something interesting. It was a pretty big. He'd say it'd have to be a pretty big blind spot.
And that's exactly what it is. It's huge.
There is nothing about talking to anybody from there in the report. I think Galloway makes the most sense to talk to next. I think Galloway knows the garrison. Galloway knows who was at the party. Galloway is the biggest player in this case who we haven't talked to already. Granted, she's been talked to a lot.
To the fancy neighborhood?
To the fancy neighborhood.
It's getting to be like 8 o'clock in the evening, so if you guys want
This would be the last chance.
Yeah, in fact, even calling on someone this late is a little bit late in the evening.
Onwards.
All right.
All together toward the
All together.
the
Yeah,
fundraiser.
all together
My
stand.
favorite wine mom. With the nails.
And that is where we are going to close.
Oh my god.
All right, got a
Big
lot of,
adventure tomorrow, guys. Going up to the reservoir.
I got a lot of cooking to do.
Owl bears.
Yeah.
Nice scenic walk through the woods.
Yeah.
Pop some goblins on the head.
Very nicely done.
Oh my god.
Oh, Andrew.
Oh,
You
Andrew.
sad son of a
Guys,
bitch.
remember when we were like,
sack.
oh, for Notch and Soda, we'll just talk about how we solved the case.
We might yet.
We're gonna figure it out next week.
We might
When something
find.
busts open, it busts open.
She's
Yeah.
just
We're gonna
hanging out.
bust
We're gonna
all
rip
over
this
the
I'm gonna
wide.
bust
Rip-
Sally Astra, baby. She's gonna bust.
God damn it.
Cade's gonna flirt with her.
I was gonna say, should I just go hard? Should I just go hard?
Yes. Watch her be a lesbian.
Is she married?
I don't
Do
fucking
we know?
care. Allie, you're hot.
You're gonna try
What do you
that, but it's
think?
gonna be Camille who wins her over.
I'm like, what do you think?
Well, there was a lot in that conversation with Andrew. He asked some
Yeah.
questions.
Mhm.
I gotta watch it back.
Didn't follow
Yeah.
up on something.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, the letters we were like, can we
Okay.
please look at them?
That
Good
was
night.
sort of a misunderstanding.
I did kind of think that he handed them over and that like
It wasn't reported, or
they were just
Yeah.
in a file at Foley's
We need to
or
go back and
something.
talk. But he mentioned Thistle, like walking around by a bar late at night.
Thistle
of the
was seen
fundraiser?
that night, so he wasn't really a serious suspect because he had an alibi because many people saw him walking around.
Was that the
in
night
town.
of the fundraiser?
Yeah.
And then he appears to know more about the drinks being checked than we do.
Again,
Which is a
shitty
little
notes.
concerning.
Or bad notes.
The report that's given to the IMP is intentionally, they give you all the basic
big
info. They
stuff.
want you to look into it independently. This
Yeah.
is like, they're happy to,
Tell it to all the witnesses we're pissing off.
Oh yeah.
they want you to do the legwork.
Haven't even done a non-consensual detect thoughts yet, guys. Don't even. We haven't.
Oh
You
my
guys have
God.
played it very safe, which,
We-
you know, first day, so I understand, but yeah, I mean,
We're gonna
Hilarious if we just
bombard-
went
I'm
in
gonna
like
leave a
guns
clairvoyance
blazing.
Well, that was the only
in
thing.
her
Like
house.
when you guys were at the treasury, I was like, I would have been like, get that motherfucker out of here right now.
Yeah.
Tell him I'm gonna beat his ass to be like, come out of here right now.
We haven't been busting out the magic yet, but just wait. We go like another day without getting any answers. I'm gonna start greasing
Yeah.
people.
Once we get back
I'm
from
gonna,
the reservoir,
I'm gonna
Start greasing.
start greasing people.
Literally grease.
Yeah.
everybody steps out of the treasury and is like, sweet! And like, who is this serial grease ball?
Laying on their backs like, who did it?
Cade's known for going for the kneecap.
it's almost the end of the day, so we can just use up all our spell slots at Ali Astra's house.
It's true.
Oh my god.
Mind spike. Detect thoughts.
11th bar, you talked about sneaking in there.
Yeah.
When the frustration mounts and
Yeah,
the
I
dam
was gonna say,
breaks.
day one stolen
Yep.
valor, I don't know about.
Yeah.
But give it a couple days.
Allie, let me show you my hand of healing.
With the clairvoyance rules, Matt.
Were you gonna heal her
Please don't
prostate?
get
I
ran
put-
from this fucking house.
It says like around a door, but I obviously haven't seen behind that door. Is that not somewhere I could place that?
If it's a specific conceivable spot, you can. What are you talking about? Like in
yeah, like if I
in
want
the
to
bar?
put a clairvoyance inside of the 11th
You
door.
could say, I'm casting this on the other side of that
this
door. And
door.
unless it was a weird, abnormally thick door that you couldn't anticipate, yes, you could do
Okay.
that.
Word
It just can't.
description.
It just can't be a theoretical thing. It has to
Yeah.
be specific.
But would that be seen in the room?
If people
It's
have
invisible.
true
Only
sight.
if they have the ability to detect
Oh.
it.
It's invisible. Yeah.
That's
If
pretty
they,
sick.
if they have seen visibility or true sight, yeah.
which
But
they
all
might.
you'd have to do is like creep up to a window and be like, okay, I know that there's like a nook up here. I could stick it.
Like that's like TC's blind sight, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how you saw that
Yeah.
in the
You
last
would-
Blind sight will let you see it.
Yeah.
So not impossible for people to have it, but
It'd be pretty high level.
Yeah, I haven't busted out the tools yet, but maybe.
I'm looking at
maybe
what spells I can use to fuck people
Yeah,
up.
let's do it.
I'm done, bro.
I haven't used guiding bolt on anyone.
We've been here for 4 hours. We have no information.
You've been here
Fireball.
longer than 4 hours. I know. Luca
yeah.
said that, but you've definitely been here
I
longer.
should have Raven feebled him. Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Hunger of Hater on Alex house.
Dude, I'm gonna cast jump.
Now watch this drop.
Now watch this time. Andrew, you ain't telling us shit.
Yeah.
Now watch this
The
drop.
11th is a very dangerous Garrison. Now watch this.
Oh no.
Okay, so we're solving it next week.
Now watch this
Yeah,
drop.
we got a lot of work to
We're
do on
gonna
the
get it
board.
next week.
The board's gonna expand
Oh my God.
exponentially.
Hey,
Speaking
join
of
us
that
in
board.
the Discord so you can help.
This Discord for the board.
Yeah,
Discord for the board.
Still waiting on somebody to guess that password and make some canon changes.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next week to pick up on the case of Deshi Brame.
Solve it.
Yeah.
Actually, if people jam it, it's like, is that thing gonna get suspended or something?
If too many people try
too
to
many,
find
yeah, don't actually do it. You're not gonna guess
It's not
it.
guessable.
It's not guessable.
No, it's not. It was a random.
And that's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's not TC's giant ass 6969.
I'm gonna use that from now
That's
on.
my
TC's
password.
giant ass 6969.
Yeah.
Leopold is subscribed with Prime. You can do that for free. Did you know that? Thank you, Leo. And then Prince Thunderflare. Oh yeah, you guys rated us. Thank you. Welcome.
Oh, hey, thanks for the
rated
raid.
us while we were interviewing a possible widow. So the celebrations were subtle.
They're thinking about being a widow.
That was so bad when he was like, "Is most people have really good news or really bad news?" And you're
Oh
like,
my God,
we have middle news.
Hey, it's worse than that.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great?
I hope you don't like closure because I have none for you.
Hey, we're bringing it back up for you, but we've made no progress.
Oh, God.
You will soon come to find. We have made no.
We love you all. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Sunday. Chapter 4 of Bloody Be the Turnips.
Nudge and Sody.